Hey kids, this is Aaron from the podcast that wouldn't die, and Kevin and I use Zencastr. You think you're better than us, that you're using something else? You're wrong. Zencastr's the place to be. Who are you to deny it?
It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. Log in using your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. Record studio-quality sound and up to 4K video with your guests. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use our code DIEHARD and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. We want you to have the same experiences we do for all our podcasting and content needs. It's time for you to share your story.
Only a fool will give up a chance for a 30% discount.
I admire its purity. A survivor. Unclouded by conscience, remorse, or delusions of morality.
Welcome to the latest episode of the podcast That Wouldn't Die. I'm your host, Kevin. With me is not Aaron. Sometimes you get into autopilot and you just start saying the same shit you always say. Yeah, Erin's not here today. When I told her we were going to discuss all the Alien films, she said deuces. No thanks. But in their place, we've got three friends here, friends of the show. Let me introduce them one at a time. We've got Stu from the New Stu World Order.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
And we got Carlo from the Movie Loot podcast.
Hey, everybody.
And, of course, we've got Ed from the Film Effect podcast.
Hi.
We are here. Oh, good Lord. We're here to discuss the Immortal franchise, the Alien franchise. So, guys, I got to tell you, I'm very excited about it.
As am I.
It's certainly a movie franchise. It's a series of movies that have one thing in common. Well, sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't have that one thing in common. So what am I talking about, actually?
I know I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest. So
they're
almost bursting.
Some would argue the creatively named Alien franchise. It's like
they put a lot of thought into that.
Why not just call it Monster? I guess there was a movie called Monster. So there you have it.
It's Monster.
Why don't we jump right in to the first movie in the series called Alien, starring Sigourney Weaver, Tom Skerritt. The list goes on and on. IMDb describes this as: after investigating a mysterious transmission of unknown origin, the crew of a commercial spacecraft encounters a deadly life form. What do you guys got? Thoughts and feelings?
So it's great. It's great. I'll kick us off here. I mean, it's Alien. It's Alien. It's one of the best horror movies ever made, and responsibly considered so. It's a really good movie that has an atmosphere and an iconic, absolutely blow the doors off the house iconic monster that it created for the world that we're going to talk about a whole bunch as this series goes on, the Xenomorph, which, by the way, are they ever called that? In any of these movies, did they say the X word? Because I don't ever recall having heard it.
In the second one. In Aliens, they say, what's his name? Gorman.
They're giving,
Gorman
they're giving
says,
the briefing.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Yeah, he says, Gorman says, we're after a xenomorph in response to, is this going to be a stand-up fight or a bug hunt?
Okay. I must have missed that. I remember the line about, is this a stand-up fight or is this a bug hunt? But I guess the response just went over my head because I couldn't remember them ever saying it. But it's a great franchise. It's not a great franchise. That's a lie. It's a great movie. It's a great movie.
Just the first film. Just the first film right now.
It's It's an abject lie to say it's a great franchise, but it's a great movie, and it has so much atmosphere and so much tension, and the monster is iconic, and you've got Sigourney Weaver turning in one of the great all-time horror performances that she would go on to reprise several times as the franchise goes on. I mean, this movie earns its flowers. It deserves what people say about it.
100%. Ed, what do you think?
I mean, having rewatched this recently, one of the things that stands out, everything Stu just said, it's masterfully done. It did for space what Jaws did for the ocean, but I just love the way the movie, like the little things, like the camaraderie between
Yeah,
like Brett and
I agree.
Parker and stuff like that, and like you see like everything from like a blue collar standpoint, and just they're all trying to get home, and they're rerouted to this planet, and it's a simple movie. It's a basic plot, but it's just so incredibly done. Hats off to Ridley Scott for his direction, his use of miniatures and models, and just the effects and everything. I can go on and on and on. H.I. Geiger and everything. There's just so much to talk about in this movie that it's unfortunate we have to talk about 8 other films, because we could literally spend 3 hours alone talking about this movie and just what an incredible achievement it is, to sci-fi horror.
No question. And I think this movie really stands up today. Sometimes you go back and watch, a sci-fi movie from from 40 years ago, and you're like, what the hell is this? That alien, it's still doing its thing. No question.
It's perfection. I mean, you've already talked enough about it, but one of the things that Ed brought up is one of the things that I really like about it, and it's like that chemistry between the whole cast, and it's something that it feels very lived in. It feels like you really believe that these guys have spent whatever time together. I think I've read how they did that, and they allowed each of them to like choose their own wardrobe, to sort of like give them their characters and whatever. So that I really enjoy that. Another thing that I like about the film is how it takes its time to get things going, which is something rare for movies nowadays. I think the breakfast scene happens like 40-ish minutes in, if I remember correctly, which is actually when things started to kick in. But I love how it starts to build this atmosphere, like Stu said and Ed said. There's always this dread that something is going awry, and I love that patience from the movie, and I really enjoy it. I have a lot of thoughts about it, but I'm gonna let you chime in more while I think about it, something else that I want to share.
Well, it's an all-star cast. You know what I mean? Like, literally, there's not one rando in the cast, right? It's
not at all.
The other thing I read is the fact that in the script, they did not say these are male characters or these are female characters. They left that up to Ridley Scott. Like, he kind of just cast the best people, and Sigourney Weaver was the best one to play Ripley. So
that's great, yeah.
So,
and one of the things that I and it's something I'm gonna spill the beans about one of my overall thoughts on the franchise. But one of the things that I really like is how smart every people here behaves. And you can see that I mean, this quote unquote mining ship. So these are blue collar people. I mean, you have a scientist, you have a captain and whatever, but it's not a scientific vessel.
right?
And yet you see how smart they all behave, and their choices are within the universe that they're living, and the situation that they've been thrown into. Their decisions are smart. Their choices are within the realm of what you think. Okay, this is what I might do in a situation like this. If you think the only reason that the alien got in is because of Ash, and we know that his motives are, ulterior. Um, and that's something that we, yeah, and that those smarts are not something that we see in some other films in the franchise. Where you have scientists and science vessels with no respect for quarantine or safety precautions at all. But we're gonna get to that at some point. But I really enjoy that about this film.
I like the score in this movie, or in a lot of cases, the lack thereof in a lot of scenes. Like Ridley Scott makes good decisions on whether to have background score playing or not to have such a thing playing, because the way he uses it really ratchets up the tension of the scenes in this movie.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Why don't we take a minute and talk about the alien biology, which I always find utterly confounding and gets more bizarre as the series progresses. So at this point, all we know is there's some eggs on this planet, and in the eggs jump out the face hugger that attaches themselves to John Hurt, right? And then later it plants an egg in his chest, it busts out, a little critter busts out, and then later it grows to a full-sized, unnamed alien.
In record time.
Yeah.
Lickety split.
In record time, he's grown.
Without feeding on anything.
Right.
Which will be conveniently used in the franchise.
100%. It's unclear what this alien wants other than just to kill. I'm only here to kill. Because like you said, you don't see him eating. I mean, he kind of gets them with the little mouth thing, like the tongue or whatever the hell that thing is. But you don't see him like chewing on an old bone or something. Right?
No, never. You just he takes his victims and cocoons half of them.
Right. And
sometimes
I saw the director's cut
of
this movie, and it's the one.
When are we going to get into this?
Yes, Ridley Scott talked about the director's cut for him was the theatrical release.
Yes,
but if you give me money, I'll cut another one. It's like whatever you want to do. And in that one, you see they find Harry Dean Stanton, and they find Dallas slopped up to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
For what is there an egg there? I guess there's an egg there. So in this one, the xenomorph lays the eggs. So who knows what's going on with this?
Was there an egg? I saw the.
I don't remember the egg. I don't remember being.
Maybe there wasn't an egg. Maybe he's just slopping them up for no reason. Unclear.
Yeah.
But I think Dallas.
Someday a queen will come.
Someday a queen will come. Yes.
100%. But that's the thing. And I guess we can talk about it in Aliens. I guess we're supposed to think at that point that they are like drones gathering up the homies for the queen. But for this movie,
that's how I was always taking it.
Who knows what the motivations are? So anyway,
but that's one of the things. Sometimes and we can talk about it as we move on to other films of the franchise. But sometimes he just the xenomorph just snaps their head into pieces. Sometimes he chooses to cocoon them. Sometimes they're cocoon like. Sometimes they're cocoon like Newt. What I'm doing here? I have to get off this thing. So it's that is one of the things that bothers me across the franchise. Not in this one because we don't really get to see the all that logistics. But it's how convenient it is. Yeah, it's it's whatever it's convenient for the plot, I guess. But at some points it bothers me.
Because the way how the eggs got there and the whole idea of a queen alien, Ridley Scott wasn't thinking of that bullshit. That didn't come around until James Cameron, 7-8 years later, whenever it was.
Right.
But I still think until Aliens, I still think they still had a good enough grasp of what they were going for. But as the franchise goes on, they sort of lose their hands of it. So.
Yeah. Dan O'Bannon and Ridley Scott just wanted to make a really neat sci-fi horror movie, a slasher movie in space, essentially.
Right, self-contained.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you have to imagine when they made this movie, they didn't think, and 40 years later, when Romulus comes out, this will be the case.
Right. The alien's just gonna, bundle up into a ball and turn into a cocoon, or not a cocoon, like a big comet, like a rock or an asteroid. And you would get the right term out.
Buckle up. Well, that's the thing. It's like, so something lays a goddamn egg, which scoots out a face buster or a face hugger, whose only purpose is to lay another fucking egg.
Yes.
And die.
It is the least evolved thing on the planet. It makes no sense to reproduce like this. Like, I have to lay an egg to give birth to a creature that will then lay another egg inside a creature that will hopefully find it. And if it doesn't, it's just going to sit there for an eternity.
Sweet Jesus.
It makes sense. Another thing that I really like before, I don't know when we're going to move to the other, but I want to bring this up because it's one of my favorite scenes in the film. But it's overall how much Ridley Scott does with so little at some times, and I think the best example that I can give of, and it's probably one of my favorite scenes of the film, is the Dallas in the air ducts. And I think that's a prime example of how you can build tension with so little, because you don't really see the alien. You only see that glimpse of the xenomorph at the end when he flashes the light. But other than that, you just have the voices and the air ducts and the beeping of that's the thing. The beep, 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 beep. It's close to you. It's on top of you.
Right behind you.
It's Veronica Cartwright, which is such a great performance. I love her in this. It's such a masterful buildup of tension and dread, and it's one of those things that even as goofy as the xenomorph might look, if you pause it's still one of the things that gets me every time. It's still a scene that gets me. It always scares the shit out of me.
Absolutely.
That scene always got me when I was a kid watching this.
Yeah, I love it. It's probably, like I said, my favorite scene of the film.
I mean, I just wanted to bring up real quick just the production design, just the attention to detail, just the way, just everything's just put together. Really didn't want to go too much into it, but what I did want to talk about before we moved on, I guess, what's everyone's favorite scene in this movie?
Oh man, there's a bunch of
that's
good
tough.
scenes.
Yeah, that's tough. I like with Ripley, and this is usually one of those things in movies that kills me. It's one of the things in movies that oftentimes takes me out of movies, but I like when there's the countdown to the self-destruct and she's kind of running around frantically and she's trying to get her cat and she's trying to escape the xenomorph and she's torn between whether she's going to blow up the ship and then she goes back and tries to turn off the self-destruct mechanism. I thought that was all very strenuous on me as a viewer. And usually I think countdowns are like a death knell for a movie. I think a countdown in a movie typically is like, all right, you don't have to care about anything that's going on for 10 minutes because you know that's going to happen till the end of this countdown.
Right.
But this has stuff going on all throughout the countdown where she's constantly running away and then she tries to unset it. And instead of having until the 0 point, she has until the 5-minute mark, I think, to undo the self-destruct mechanism. And it's a nice play on the countdown scene that you get in a lot of movies.
Every time I see a movie like that with the self-destruct, I'm wondering, does that really exist? Or is this just a science fiction trope?
Imagine if your car had a self-destruct mechanism that you could just activate. When would you ever need that?
Unclear. No. Okay. Well, any last thoughts of the original Alien before we move on? Anybody? We good?
No, it's good. It's good. It's a good movie. Watch Alien. It's a good movie.
It's good.
100%. Watch it now. It really defines what sci-fi horror is. It truly does. It's terrifying. Okie dokie. Let's move on to the 1986 sequel, creatively titled Aliens. IMDb describes this as, decades after surviving the Nostromo incident, Ellen Ripley is sent out to reestablish contact with a terraforming colony, but finds herself battling the alien queen and her offspring. Let's do this. Stu, what do you got? Let's start with you.
This is Alien with more. It's more aliens. It's more action. It's more adventure. What else did I write here? There's so much.
That's what the
it's
S
just
stands
more.
for.
There's more action. There's more runtime. There's more betrayal. There's more aliens. It's just more. It's just more of everything. And it's James Cameron. It's James Cameron before he became enamored with doing Avatar movies until we all die from the heat death of the universe. And he was one of the greatest directors. I mean, he still is. The Avatar movies aren't for me, but he's still one of the greatest directors in the world. And boy, he took this franchise and he really put his own stamp on it. And I mean, you can say what you want about Alien, but Aliens is an equally phenomenal movie that is different in so many ways and yet is good in just about every equal measure. Like, it's so hard to say, like, oh, I like Alien but not Aliens, or oh, I like Aliens but not Alien. Like, they're different, but they're both so good and so impressively done. These are two masters of their craft, Scott and Cameron, just 7-8 years apart, making movies that are so good and were so going to become part of the cultural zeitgeist.
100%. Carlo, what do you got?
I definitely agree, and I think Cameron did the best choice that he could have by going in another direction. That by saying, okay, you know, I'm not gonna try to top Ridley Scott's horror, slow burn horror, so I'm gonna go the action way, and you know, he does it greatly, but there are still a lot of horrific, tense, inducing moments in this, and it's that perfect combination of horror, sci-fi, action, whatever. Things that I really love about this one, just like I said in the first one, I love the great chemistry. This feels like a lived-in group, even if the characters are more one-dimensional, most of them, but it still feels like like an organic group that has spent a lot of time together, and there's that camaraderie. You get characters like Hudson and Hicks, and I love them. Vasquez, all that rapport between these characters, I definitely love it. Um, to go back to one of the things that I mentioned on Alien, but this this one has yet another scene where they do so much with so little, and it's that first ambush, that first alien ambush, where everything you see is just on blurry screens, and all you get is Gorman like, oh, I told him to drop the guns, and replay desperate with him. She just yanks him off the chair, and she takes control, which is like a pivotal moment for her. But I love all the tension in that moment, and you barely see anything. It's just blurry screens and just a chaos, and with all of them shooting and the aliens coming out of everywhere. That's easily one of my favorite scenes. So yeah, I love how Cameron does that.
Absolutely. Ed, what do you got?
Everything that Stu just said goes double for me. It took the words out of my mouth. This is a straight up action movie. I don't give a what anyone says. Like, there's really no heart to it. It's just straight up action, in your face, balls to the wall, raw dog action. And I love how the first quarter of this movie builds up so much. You get to learn about all these Marines that Ridley's teaming up with in this movie, because of this asshole Burke. And all these great people that we just love, Drake, Vasquez, Hawk, Hudson, everything. And we're building up this moment. They finally get to the aliens, and the aliens just whip the shit out of them. Within like 5 minutes, the entire crew that we just built up to love and get to know for the last, half hour is just been ripped to shreds and blown away. And it's like reduced to like 5 of them, and that's it. People forget about that. But, it's all this build up with all these great people, many of whom got action figures from Kenner, and just gone within like minutes. Like, as soon as they come out of hiding, they're just destroyed.
I have to talk about that. Whenever I watch this movie, I'm desperately trying to figure out who the where's Basky is, who's Crow, There are like 10 named Marines, and we meet 8 of them. And there's 2 who are just in the background. It's like, why even have those damn bastards back there? Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
I only remember Drake because Drake's action figure came with that big ass long gun that he holds around his torso. It's like in the movie.
No, but Drake is one of the cool ones. Drake is one of the cool ones.
He was the coolest action figure.
Absolutely.
Mark
It's
Ralston
where
plays
Sponsky
him.
and Spunkmeyer, the ones that are the odd ones.
Spunkmeyer. Right. I can name them.
Real quick.
Pharaoh, who's the pilot. Spunkmeyer hung out on the plane as well. I don't know what he was doing. Right. Dietrich was the med tech.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
See?
Yeah.
And Hudson was the computer tech guy. He was the guy who would go in there. And let's be honest, this is the movie that we fell in love with Bill Paxton.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a love
definitely.
that never died.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
He is freaking hilarious. All of his crazy shit.
I love him.
Hey,
I
hate to
love
rain on your parade. You're gonna put her in charge. Yeah. It's
Game over, man.
game over.
Game over. My shit's always been, "Where's Balski? I always thought that he was yelling, "Where's Balski?" But no, it's "Where's Balski?" The actual name. Come to find out.
One dude,
Yeah,
his
he
only
is
line
really-
is a scream when he gets dragged away. Where's Balski? Ah! Off camera.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Stu.
Yeah, Paxton is acting on level 11 in this movie. Like, they just didn't know how to turn him down. They just let him go, and they were like, act as hard as you've ever acted in your life. And
He usually does.
But he gets to a point where he's just yelling all of his dialogue, and it's so it really is like, if I was in that situation, that's me. I'm just frantic and screaming, and I have no idea what's going on. So I relate to Hudson. Hudson is me on this exhibition.
I want to ask a question, because one of the, I think it was Ed that mentioned Burke, but am I the only one that was tricked by him? Because all I knew about Paul Reiser at this point was him and My Two Dads, the lovely dad. So when I saw this film, he got me. I mean, when he turned off the big twist, when he's turning off the screen. With the camera, with Ripley and Newt in the bedroom, that's when I was son of a bitch. He got me.
What's up, fella? Sorry for the jump scare.
And we have a late arrival, ladies and gentlemen. It's our buddy Pete from the Middle Class Film Class. How's it going?
Oh, it's good. It's good. I was stayed home sick from work today, and I've been in and out of naps, so I'm awake and I'm here.
Well, I'm glad to have you. I'm sorry you're not feeling great, but what are your thoughts on Aliens?
Aliens. It's the best. It's one of the Queen is one of the most fantastic.
We haven't gotten to the Queen yet.
Practical creatures I think it's ever been made for film. I love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really fantastic. But yeah, I think it's great. It's funny because I think Aliens comes up in the conversation of best sequels, along with like Terminator 2. Mm-hmm. But I don't, is it on its own? Is it one of the best sequels, or is it just so different than the original that it gets put on this like interesting pedestal? So I think it splits the Alien fandom in half between what's supposedly the greatest is the original or is it Aliens, and it just depends on personal taste, honestly.
100%. It's the immortal question. Am I right? Let me ask.
Whenever you die and you go to heaven, that's what St. Peter asks: alien or aliens, and that determines whether you get in or not.
100%. Let me say this: this is the first movie that we start to ask the question: when the alien's acid splashes on you, how bad is it? You know what I mean? Because you get Drake gets blasted and he's just dead. And Hudson gets splashed with it. Arm's fine. We're good to go.
There's one of the. Is it in one of the sequels where somebody gets his arm cut off just because of the acid?
Alien versus Predator Requiem.
Requiem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Romulus, the guy's completely.
It's however convenient.
That acid really does fuck Hicks up, though. I mean, it puts Hicks out of commission for like the entire finale.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Because we need Ripley to be conveniently the hero.
Fair.
Yeah.
Well, then that's what I'm saying. If it can melt through metal, if you splash that shit on your arm, you're in fucking bad shape. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You should be.
Should be. There's no bandage for
think.
that. Splash a little Bactine on there.
It's real inconsistent across the franchise how dangerous this acid is. And I know we're only talking about so many things right now, but like so many things, it's inconsistent across the franchise. But it's one of those things where like people get it splashed on them and they have time to leisurely take their coat off and be like, I'm fine. And then sometimes people get it splashed on them and they're immediately dead. And it's like, all right, sure.
I don't know. Poor Drake.
Poor Drake. He was just too cool that they had to splash him with acid and be done with it, I guess. Very sad.
Yeah.
So, anything else about Aliens before we move on?
I have a question I want to say. But something that Ed mentioned is how well, I think it was Ed, but how well the film plants seeds of things that you're gonna pay off in the last act, and it's something that is great. Like you see Ripley working with the exosuit,
great
the loader, yeah, and there are so many like the whole build up around Bishop. Is he a good android or is he a bad android? That's there from the beginning, and then you see how it there's this scene where one of these random guys, I think it's Meyer, that brings him something to the lab, and Bishop is so like, no, do you need anything else? No. It's just so creepy. They said this is a bad android just like Ash, and then it turns out that no, he's a good android, like some other good androids in this franchise. But that's another thing that I wanted to bring up, and I think that this is one of the cases where I enjoy the director's cut maybe more, or some bits of the director's cut more than theatrical cut. There are things that are interesting for me to see afterwards. For example, the scene at the colony. There's a scene that shows you the colony before the and I like not seeing that before, but after I've seen the movie, I kind of like to see that and see like an interesting tidbit of what was like, and you see the kids running, and you figure out, okay, there were kids there, and those kids are dead now. So I think that's an interesting thing. But one of the things that I really enjoy is the scene where maybe it's a bit not too subtle, but the scene where Ripley finds out her daughter. I really love that scene.
Amanda.
I think she both Sigourney Weaver and Paul Reiser act the hell out of that scene. That's one of my favorite scenes of the movie, period. I really enjoy that scene.
I just love the entire finale of this movie. Oh yeah, really, it's great. It's kick ass. Not to sound juvenile, but it really is. I've always
it is.
Get you in one of them moods. It's like watching, Schwarzenegger take out the entire police car with a Tommy gun in T2. It's just get you ramped up.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, Cameron knows how to sell a third act for sure. And what was I going to say? I feel like the thing that I really love about Aliens as a sequel. Like on its own, it's a great movie, but when you watch the original, you're thinking, man, that one alien really fucked him up. I wonder what happens if there's a bunch of them, and then when you see the egg pit in the very beginning of Alien, and John Hurt's character goes down to the egg pit, and there's a ton of them, and the one opens up and it gets on his face, and they go away, and then there we go. You're thinking, man, what if all the eggs in my head, and when I was a kid, I was like, what if all the eggs opened up at once? And that would be devastating. And it's like, and then you get that. And the leaning on the practical part of it is great.
Oh, yeah.
Not just for Aliens, but for the franchise. The reckless and wanton use of liquid flamethrower is so good. And it's like you can't make that PG. You can't do you really just have to do it. And they know they trained Sigourney Weaver for quite some time with that flamethrower, because that's a real deadly piece of machinery.
Yeah, I don't know how you fake that, right?
No, you don't.
No.
CGI, I guess.
Yeah. Creative cuts and like, oh yeah, it's a big fire bloom and stuff. But when you see the liquid fire squirt across the frame and just engulf everything, it's so good. It's just great.
It's dynamite. It's dynamite. And one thing I wanted to say is that the first movie kind of establishes the whole, like, the company wants like a sample. The crew is expendable. But we don't really see that in this one. It seems like the company's just as surprised as anybody. They're like, oh, well, shit, we sent the colonists there. What happened? What do you mean? It's all good, Ripley. Right?
Now, Paul Reiser has a few lines where he says, she says, you sent him there knowing what was going to happen. And he said, well, what if there was no aliens? What if there was nothing there? And they're taking
I made a mistake. I made a choice, and I was wrong.
It was a bad call, Ripley.
Bad call. A real bad call.
He's so good. I love him. He's so good, man. So slimy.
It's called slimy weasel characters.
And then at that point,
all the performances are great in Aliens.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, no question. No question. But you're right. At that point, then Burke is like, now I do want to get someone infected, and now I do want to bring back the alien. So then it kind of turns. And that's kind of a through line through all these movies about how evil the... When were they called? Were they always called the Yutani, Weyland-Yutani Corporation?
Yeah.
Weyland-Yutani.
Weyland-Yutani.
At some point, I could have sworn at some point it was just Weyland, and then it became Weyland-Yutani. So maybe
that's like the general idea behind the company. I think that's something that they've worked out afterwards. Like these are two conglomerates or so that merge together. There's a lot of that on Alien Earth. So you get to see this big billionaire kid and the Yutani woman. So yeah, they work that out a lot in the franchise.
Just like Weyland's in the centerpiece in the prequels.
Right.
Guy Ritchie.
Yeah.
Oh, him too.
Guy Pearce.
Guy Pearce. I was getting them confused. Sorry.
And when you say prequels,
I always mess their names up.
You have to be clear which prequels we're talking about, because there's all sorts of interesting prequels coming up.
Ridley Scott prequels.
Sweet Jesus. Shall we move on to Alien Cubed?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
To the third
Real quick,
power?
before we do, I wanted to say, because Carlo mentioned this is the movie and the director's cut's the first time we hear about Amanda Ripley, and she's like an afterthought for the rest of this series, with the exception of, we talked about it kind of before we went live, Alien Isolation. I didn't know if you want to talk about that real quick right here, or you want to wait.
Do you want to hit it right now? I'm not that familiar.
We got to bring up Isolation, I feel, because I feel like it's kind of...
This is a video game we're talking about?
Yeah, it came out about 10 years ago, I would say. Anybody else played it before?
I have not. I know of it, but I've never played it.
Then we can move right
I'm
on
bad
to
at
Alien
video games.
3. It's a real fun
PC
first-person horror movie. No, it's for all the... I have it on Xbox 3 or Xbox... Whatever came out after 360. 720, whatever it was.
720. 100%.
Xbox One, yes, thank you.
Okay,
But no, you play as Amanda, and you're on like a stronger type ship.
There's an alien.
There's an alien there.
Is this considered canon, or is this lore?
I guess it depends on who you ask.
Alien Legends.
I mean, I know.
I think it's lore.
The game is pretty highly praised.
I saw it listed in the Alien franchise Wikipedia. Take from that what you may, as a TV series. I didn't know it was a game actually, but I think that a couple of years after, that's what I was reading. A couple of years after the game, they adapted it into an animated TV series.
Oh, really?
So yeah, that came out in 2018. I read.
Nickelodeon.
I don't know.
Nick at Night, Alien Isolation.
Fair.
In
black and white with a laugh track.
Is that too much to ask for? Okay. Alien 3. IMDb describes this as Returning from LV-426, Ellen Ripley crash lands on the maximum security prison Fiorina 161, where she discovers that she has unwittingly brought along an unwelcome visitor. Good stuff. Pete, why don't we start with you? What do you got?
I'm an Alien 3 apologist. I think this movie's a dynamite.
We knew it!
Love it.
Number one, baby. I'm calling it.
I wouldn't call it number one, no. But it's funny because like in a bubble on its own, it's not amazing, but I think it gets unfairly shat on because it's definitely like the redheaded stepchild of the Alien franchise, at least the first trilogy. It's like stand out, not nearly the first two.
Good clarification.
Yes, yeah. But I don't think it deserves the hate. It's almost just like if you have a very attractive, lady standing there and you go, "Ooh, she's very attractive," and then she's flanked by two supermodels, two of the most beautiful women in the world. You're like, she's not an uggo. She's still very attractive, but comparatively, it's like there's an effect for that. I can't remember the name, but it sounds very misogynistic. But with the Alien franchise, it's like watch the movie on its own. It's still fun. Alien 3 and the assembly cut much better. I do think it's dirty to get rid of Hicks and Newt, but I mean, you got to make sacrifice. You got to kill your darlings, and they probably either, I don't know if it was they couldn't.
Shit happens.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, see the crash. I'm surprised she survived. But I liked the fact that when you watch later on in the series, especially in the AVP parts of it, man, the character development stinks. You get into just like monster porn where you're not really caring about the people. You're just watching people get slashed and watching creative ways of people dying. It's like, that's more like how Predator is. One cool character, maybe a couple side cool characters, and then just interesting ways that they die or the other people die. But in the Alien franchise, there's always interesting people and there's always weird motivations and there's a story arc with Ripley, and the later ones abandons all of that and they're just the worst. You're like, I don't care about any of these people. I wish they all died yesterday. But with Alien 3, it's like all the people are cool. Charles Dance is interesting. He's some sort of sympathetic villain-ish in a way, but she has a romantic relationship with him. All the convicts are found, born again Christians or whatever the hell they are, and she still has the heartache of losing Newt. So she's complex on her own, and she's just, you can see the life is drained from her eyes from the last two experiences she has, and she's like, I'm not getting out of this. No matter what, I'm not going to get out of this. And she takes that mentality all the way to the grave, into the lava grave, the Terminator 2-esque ending. So I think it's unfairly shit upon, and I think David Fincher got a bad rap for making quote unquote the worst Alien movie. Not true. Untrue.
Well, she definitely carries it into the conjugal bed with Charles Dance. I'll say that when she's like, "Hey, Dancy, let's do this.
Oh, yeah.
Let's dance."
Oh yeah.
Dance. Let's dance. Stu, what do you got?
So I am less forgiving of the movie just unceremoniously offing Newton Hicks than Pete is. I think that's, I don't want to say it's disgraceful to what they did to Aliens 2, but it feels like, I don't know, you could have done so many other things than this. You could have had them leave. You could have had them get to Earth somehow. The movie's just like, no, they died.
That was the original idea.
I just left. Bye-bye.
Poochie died on the way back to his home planet, and that's what happened to Newton Hicks.
So what, a second?
The escape pod just drops them both off, and then Ripley takes off and crash lands elsewhere.
Yeah, they just peace out somehow. They just peace out. You could get her under that alien, that imprisonment planet some other way.
While in transit, an alien hopped aboard with Ripley, and on her way to the prison, that's when got impregnated.
We also have, speaking of that, we have the longest gestating alien in history in this movie. That alien hangs out inside Ripley like forever. When everybody else, again, it's an inconsistency. It's inconsistent on how long the aliens take to hatch. But boy, the one inside Ripley is like, I'm just gonna veg for like a month. It's gonna be great.
It's a
queen. Well, it was a queen, so.
Oh, is that the justification? Because that dog popped in about 5 minutes. Am I right?
Yeah.
And in the assembly cut, it's an ox.
It doesn't.
Yeah, I will say, To be fair, I saw the theatrical cut. I did not see the assembly cut that people have a lot of affection for, so I don't know how different it is
other than being altogether.
Yeah.
Other than being half an hour longer. I don't know how much that
half
could
improve
an hour? This
this
movie. Yeah, it's like half an hour longer than the theatrical cut.
Hard pass.
40 something.
There's a whole
subplot
added to the assembly cut.
It's better. I mean, I can.
It is better.
I saw like I said in the before we came live. I think this is the first one that I saw in theaters. I saw it with my best pal, and I remember even at that time when I was in my teens, I remember thinking that the film lacked like a middle act. Like it was so abrupt in theaters, and I felt like that this was it was jarring. And I remember that after when they I think the quadrilogy came out, I saw the assembly cut, and the assembly cut is like a whole grade better than the theatrical cut. It expands certain stories, like how the alien. There's a whole thing about the alien. They capture the alien, and then it gets out.
There's a whole religious subplot going on with this one prisoner.
Yeah,
named Golic.
Golic, yeah.
Golic.
That in the theatrical
or
cut,
an alien
he just
as a dragon.
Yeah, and in the theatrical cut, he just disappears, and in the assembly cut, you just understand what happens. There are still some issues in the film. I think that the amount of interesting characters, when you compare it to Alien and Aliens, decrease. But the ones that we got, and you guys mentioned Clemens, he's great. But Dylan, Charles S. Dutton, I think this time, this rewatch, that character really hit me hard. I think he resonated with me so much. His whole attitude, his whole motivations and vibe about why I'm doing what I'm doing. I really enjoyed watching that character. Something that you guys brought up, which I mentioned at the beginning, the logistics of how long it takes for this eggs to gestate inside is so convenient. Then you get other films in the future where they just come out like a second afterwards. You get the face hugger, you kick it out, and oh, it's already in me.
Fair.
But overall, I really enjoyed the assembly cut. If we're talking about the assembly cut works a lot better for me, and it's a really strong film for me.
And it's a different alien
aliens
too.
Look better. Yeah, I was gonna say, do they look better in the assembly cut?
Every time they use CGI, it's pretty bad.
Yeah,
it's not CGI.
This is by far the worst they look across the whole franchise, right? Like they're abysmal looking in this movie.
Yeah,
what
the
they did,
I'll give you that.
It's not CGI. It's pretty interesting how they did it, and there's a reason why it looks the way it does. Is because they actually took this model with puppeteers, and they were kind of like running it across where it was going to be on screen, and they kind of like they had to impose that because back then they're not working digitally; they're working on actual 35 millimeter film, and they had to impose like this. It was basically a mixture of puppeteering and whatever the word is, but they put it on the actual the print to make it go across the way it does. Okay. But it's not, contrary to the way it looks, the way it turned out in the final cut, it's not CG. So,
but
don't mean to say like that guy.
The opportunity. But that gave them the opportunity to the POV shots, which I think worked great.
Yeah.
All those fast-paced POV shots down the corridors. I love those. Yeah.
That like Sam Raimi style shots where they're running through the hallways is great.
Yeah.
And don't forget that this has the most iconic shot of all the movies in the entire series when Ripley's got the little thanks in her face and then it comes out.
Yeah.
It's she's
all the marketing.
NATO Carner. Yeah, she's very much in that. And everyone's looking like it's just like Linda Hamilton in Terminator 2. They're like, "Oh wow, that's Linda Hamilton." When they see Sigourney Weaver with the shaved head and she's dripping with all the alien goo on her, you're like, that's Sigourney Weaver? Oh my gosh. I got butts in seats back then.
Yeah. And for me too, like the loss of Newton Hicks in this movie, it never really got to me. The show must go on,
Yeah.
But we forgot to talk about the original teaser for this movie. Actually, had it focused on aliens coming to Earth. If anyone remembers the original teaser for this movie, it was just kind of resembled the
I don't
first
remember
Alien.
the teaser, but yeah.
Yeah, I remember when
that was the
teaser
original
for
script.
this. Yeah, this was going to be on Earth originally.
Interesting.
Because like before, when I think about Alien 3, it's this is kind of what I was talking about before we went live. Is I had this Alien trilogy box set on VHS back in the day. I bought from from BJ's, and I thought I was getting the first 3 movies, but I was getting the first movie, the second, and then the making of Alien 3 because it came in. This was like back in '92. And it was box. I mean, I used to have for the longest time. I had the slip box for all of them too, and everything. And it was like labeled as the Alien trilogy, even though you're not really getting 2/3 of it.
Bullshit. That's a lie.
It's fraud.
So yeah, that f***ery is what I think about when I think about Alien 3, primarily.
Goddamn Wayland Yutani not selling me 3 movies.
I got screwed.
I think that the original script was that they got to Earth and Replay and Newt went somewhere else, and it just Hicks and someone else running the show. That was like the original.
Bye. We had fun the last film, didn't we? Next.
Frankly, I could give a good goddamn about Newt. I would have left her ass on LV 421 or whatever the hell that shit was.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That was the most annoying subplot. Anyway, Charles S. Dutton. People of a certain age remember this was like prime Charles S. Dutton time. Rock on Fox Network.
Yeah.
Absolutely. ROC. And he was in Rudy. He was in A Time to Kill. He
Surviving
was in
the Game.
100%. Yeah. He was everywhere. You could not throw a rock without hitting him at least twice. I mean, he was everywhere. So, and I appreciate him in this movie. He is dynamite.
He's great. Yeah.
The other thing,
he and Charles Dance are both fantastic in this movie. I wish Charles Dance is another character that it just feels like the movie's going along, and then it just goes like, we got to kill a named character, or else people won't take our movie seriously. So they just kill him. And I was just like, wait, I wasn't done with him. Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I really was bummed out.
Ripley was done with him.
Yeah. Hey, maybe that's what it was. Maybe the alien needs a human fertilization at the same time to make it the queen.
It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me. That was some fucking thing in the script.
Special prescription. And then
this is the first movie where they kind of establish that if a different species gets the alien in them, then the alien coming out, the xenomorph, is now different. You know what I mean? It's more dog-like or whatever because of the German Shepherd.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's a dog in the version Stu watched, and then the rest of us, it's a boar.
Yeah.
An ox.
Or ox.
Yeah.
Good stuff. What else I want to talk about? How they bring back Lance Henriksen.
Yeah,
he claims to be.
Dual role.
Does he claim to be Wayland? Who does he claim to be? Just a human.
Michael Bishop Wayland.
The human bishop.
Like
yeah.
He claims to be the human bishop, and that was chosen to try to appeal to her.
I thought he was still a cyborg because he's listed as Bishop 2.
He was. It was revealed that he was a robot. He got knocked in the head, and then
his ears like dangling,
milk and shit. Yeah. So it was revealed that he was also a crazy android. So there's all sorts of shit going on in here.
Yeah, like
good
Pete
stuff.
Postlethwaite is good in this. Colt McAllen is in this for a minute as the rapist. And, he's good in everything, but I like him more as a altruistic character, like from Mindhunters.
Do you like him in Creepshow 2?
Creepshow 2.
That's my question.
Either Creepshow, sorry.
Native American, exactly.
Oh, cool. Not
cool. Not cool. Inappropriate.
Have we experienced such egregious race baiting?
Anyway, any last thoughts about Alien 3?
Leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
It should have ended there.
Yeah. It's does not crack the top half of my ranking though, by the way.
Wow.
Ooh,
Okay.
fair. Okay.
That's fascinating.
That is. I can't wait to see. Okay. Let's go on to Alien Resurrection. Do we have to? Yes, we do. 2 centuries after her death, a powerful human-alien hybrid clone of Ellen Ripley aids a crew of space pirates in stopping the aliens from reaching Earth. Good stuff. Ed, why don't we start with you?
This was the first Alien film I saw in the theaters. Saw it opening weekend,
right.
97. It was Thanksgiving weekend.
I'm sorry.
I'm not. I like this movie a lot.
My man.
I mean, look, as ridiculous as the plot is, you got to do something. You got to bring Ellie. You got to bring Ripley back somehow. I mean, what else you gonna do? Clone? Okay, sure. It's an idea. It's a thought. It's something. No, I mean, whenever I watch this movie, I just have fun with it. You know, it's not nowhere near the levels of fun that I have with Aliens, but it's kind of like, how do I describe this band of thieves that we got going on in this movie? Mr. Ron Perlman, led by Top Dollar
Michael
himself, Michael Wincott, exactly. I mean, this brought Winona Ryder into the franchise.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. Why do you? Oh, Danny Hidea's in this movie.
Winona Ryder,
Dan Hedaya,
Hedaya.
Brad Dourif.
Brad
Dourif. Yeah, the cast. In
Got
this
our
movie
Chucky's
is-
episode.
That guy from CSI who got fired.
Harry Dorton.
Yeah, him. No, like in all seriousness, you've got to bring Ripley back somehow. It's not really an Alien film at this point without Ellen Ripley. So she obviously went out. No, okay, Carlo, you can follow up. Where are you at on Alien Resurrection?
I always say, if it wasn't called Alien, if it was called Space Monster Resurrection, it would be a pretty cool sci-fi film. But being tied to the Alien franchise, the main thing that jumps out to me is the tonal dissonance between the previous 3 films and this one. This one feels like a cartoon. Junette's style is I like it, but it's not necessarily what I come to think of when I think of an Alien film. So it feels weird and awkward. That translates to the characters. Characters are just caricatures, all of them. They're again like a cartoon. That doesn't mean that the film is bad, because it's fun. It's a fun sci-fi film if I try to divorce it from the whole Alien franchise most of the time. There are a lot of things that I like. I think the underwater scene is really cool,
yes.
intense scene. And even though I think that the whole premise of bringing Ripley back as a clone just to take the queen embryo from her, I think that premise is a bit too convoluted. I really enjoy the whole humanity thing that they kind of touch on, especially when she enters the room with all the other clones. I think that's a really interesting thing, a really interesting scene. It's probably my favorite scene from the film. Her like reckoning with all this that
Right.
I'm not human, and I think it's an interesting thing that they kind of try to bring on the other films. Like what does it mean to be human? I'm a clone, but am I human? Am I not? But again, it's that tonal dissonance which bothers me, and I think the last act is very half baked. Also, they kind of didn't know what to do with the baby alien, and it was just weird and I don't know.
I feel like they would have been better off keeping the sticking to what they're good at. They should have had the Queen, who we get in this movie, returning to the franchise. That should have been right there as a no-brainer. That's your lead villain. You don't need this like hybrid of like a human alien father, whatever this white ugly bucket of gook is that's supposed to be the main, like, alien of this movie. It just totally just destroys the queen alien with one swipe to the jaw. It's like, get the fuck out of here, man. I'm not a fan of this film's finale. This is a fun movie, and I will defend parts of this movie. The last 20 minutes is not one of them. Yeah. I don't know. How about
Stu,
that cast? Salamani's in this movie. Raymond Cruz himself. Leyland Orser. I can keep going with the cast. J.E. Freeman.
That's true.
I will second the notion that the underwater scene is great. I think that's the pun not intended here. I think that's the high water mark of this movie. Whenever you've got the xenomorph swimming after people, that's something we hadn't seen before. Aside from that, I'm getting flashbacks and remnants to doing the Halloween franchise and how when a horror franchise names one of its installments Resurrection, apparently they're just bottoming out and they don't quite know what they're doing anymore.
Great point.
But boy, it's weird that Joss Whedon wrote this movie, because it doesn't feel like him at all. Nothing in this movie. Like, you could have told me without showing me the credits, like, oh, someone you know and admire as a writer wrote this movie. And you could have given me 20 guesses, and I would not have come to Joss Whedon whatsoever. There's no snappy dialogue in this movie. There's nothing charming about this movie. And I know Joss Whedon himself is a scumbag, shitbag human being, and that is what it is. But I mean, he was still, especially around this point, a good writer. And there's none of that here. There's nothing here that I can really hang my hat on. And I don't know. I didn't care for this, and I didn't understand the alien human hybrid at the end, because as we talked about, when Alien 3 shows you the alien latching onto a creature that isn't human, we see what that hybrid looks like. Mm-hmm. So every xenomorph we've seen to this point is already an alien human hybrid. So why is there an alien more human hybrid? This movie was mind-numbing to me. I just couldn't wait for this one to end. I did not care for this one at all.
Go ahead, Pete.
Well, first of all, the alien, the face hugger that's in her is not crossing with a human. It's crossing with an alien human hybrid, because Ripley clone, our default protagonist, she's already not just a human. So she's an advanced version of a human that's already crossed with DNA of a...
Her blood is acid.
Blood's acid.
She can make backwards basketball shots.
Yeah, she can.
What she achieved in real life.
Like all aliens can do.
She actually did that.
Yeah, first try too. Yeah. She could feel the ship moving, which of course, as soon as she says it, Winona Ryder's like, "Oh, you know what? I feel it too." Yeah, it's like, shut up. But
right behind my eyes.
I know. But so she's this weird mutated version of a human, and then the xenomorph that birthed from her, the queen that birthed from her, is a different version of that. So I have no problem with that. I actually have no problems with this movie at all. I freaking love this movie. This is my childhood favorite of all the aliens. I've seen it probably 20 times. What's up?
Wow.
I'm at number one.
20 times?
Yeah, I've probably seen it like 20 times. I used to
watch it. That's 19 times enough.
Yeah. So you have insane, like, sexually driven Brad Dourif throughout the entire time, like touching himself to the alien. Basically, he's willing to feed himself to the new alien baby thing, like it's its own child. Like he has this sick connection to it. All the mutated Ripley hybrids or Ripley clones that were failed are heartbreaking and disgusting. And then putting her on the table in the condition that she was with the chest open and say, "Kill me." Like, if that's not a throwback to like The Fly or some interesting body horror from years past, it's like it's so good. It's so good in the fact that it's like it actually resonates in the character. As Ripley, she's looking at herself, and you're like, put yourself in that situation. How would you feel about it? And it's like, it's disgusting. It's disheartening. All these things. And then I love the space pirates. I love all the goofy motley crew of ridiculous characters. Ron Perlman being Ron Perlman, all the other characters kind of playing to that. Michael Wincott is literally in his lane, in his niche. And then Dan Hedaya just pulling the brain out of the back of his head like a freaking comic book. It's so stupid. It's like the most of all the things that I don't believe about this, because the plot of taking the DNA from Ripley so you can get a little bit of the Queen and recreate her. It's like it's all alien sci-fi shit, anyways. So I'm on board with that, right? It's this future technology that we don't know anything about. In Prometheus, she has an abortion in a tube. And you're led to believe they're going to run after that. It's like, okay, I'm fine with all that. When Dan Hedaya pulls the pin off the grenade and rolls it down the thing from like 100 feet away and it stays on trajectory, most unrealistic part about the movie. Other than that, no notes. Great movie.
No notes.
No notes.
Yo, I saw this in the theater and my emotions kind of veered from just kind of annoyance to disgust. I mean, this was the first movie that they introduced the horror. I don't need to see another goddamn alien hybrid with like the human flesh and all the. We see that like 15 times starting with this movie. And each time it's more offensive. I mean, honestly, the
spoiler.
The Ripley clones, Dan Hedaya's shoulders were all very upsetting to me, as far as I'm concerned. It was just like, God damn it. You know what I'm saying?
It's a bit hairy, right?
They're like, he's part gorilla, essentially.
We've seen Ron Perlman, he's playing a gorilla. He's like one of the raptor, like.
He does do that. No, I read somewhere that initially, because there's a scene where Dan Hedaya's like in bed wearing like a tank top, and you see like literally 6
all
inches
that chest
of just hair on his shoulders. And I guess initially he was shirtless, and the audience laughed, so they had to reshoot it to give him some sort of covering.
This is what a peak male form looks like.
Oh, he's an alpha, 100% alpha. So Joss Whedon wrote the script, but the director, I guess, was trying to film it as kind of a serious thing. This is what Joss Whedon said, and that could the weird confluence of these two different styles created the horror show that we see. Now, another good thing that I like is kind of the unmotivated suicide, where the guy's like, I'm just going to unhook myself and let myself drop down to the aliens. Why? Your arms are still working? You can still climb up that goddamn ladder? No?
Right.
You're already giving up?
Oh, yeah, I forgot that part.
Yeah.
That's what people do.
Laying down, man.
Well, and again, he got splashed with acid to the head and is still, I guess, doing reasonably all right. Unclear.
Yeah.
So
I love the scene when Leland Orson's about to have the baby come out of his chest.
Oh,
and he gets right behind Jay Freeman, like right out of his mouth. Gnarliest shit ever.
On top of the cake.
So, Leland Orser making his money of
if I'm not mistaken, there's like a POV. Doesn't the camera like go down like into his body and you see like the little alien before it comes out?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Just want to make sure I remember that scene correctly.
Part, but that's just filmmaking.
Are you guys really don't like the hybrid alien baby creature at the end?
Oh, I hate it.
The most disgusting monster, gooey with the face and the little nose cartilage flipping around.
I'm not going to tell you what I think it looks like. There's children that listen to this podcast.
and Ripley like embraces it, and it's the thing that I like about that is at first time I was like, "Ew, that's gross. Why would she do that?" And then you're like, "Well, they played up the whole like matriarchal aspect of her for the first 3 movies, so it makes sense that it would extend to this." And she's kind of f***ed up already because she's not a full human and she has no regard for their life, the other human life. She's like, oh, whatever, we're gonna die, and you're gonna die. It's okay, whatever. Who cares? So I don't know. Maybe it's nostalgia, but this is a dynamite movie. It's so fun.
Any last thoughts for Alien Resurrection?
It's rough. It is rough.
I wanted to say. Well, speaking of rough, what's the next one?
let's move on. Oh,
well, this is where we branch off, so I'm kind of curious which direction we're gonna go now.
Yep.
The next movie chronologically is Alien versus Predator. And IMDb describes it as during an archaeological expedition on, good luck with this, Buvatoya Island in Antarctica, a team of archaeologists and other scientists find themselves caught up in a battle between two legends. Soon the team realize that only one species can win. Technically, these movies are not considered canon. Just FYI.
Well, they're straight up Predator films with the aliens playing second fiddle.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
fair. Carlo, why don't we start with you?
I think I saw this one in theaters as well. I'm pretty sure I did. I don't hate this movie. The first thing that comes to mind is it reminds me a bit of how Freddy versus Jason made an attempt to try to form a coherent storyline to connect these two franchises, and I kind of like the whole we're bringing this to Earth to hunt and to use as bait. I kind of like all that whole shit. I like Lance Henriksen a lot in this film. I think I think he's
oh yeah, welcome back, Lance. I forgot about that.
His whole motivation and whatnot, I want to leave a mark or something. I enjoy that. I like the lead girl, Sana Lathan.
Oh, she's
even though she's not given too much. I think she could have been given a lot more to do. But I think that my main drawback with this is it needed to be an R movie, an R film. I think the PG-13 rating hurts it, and you kind of feel like them pulling their punches in terms of the gore and the kills, because you really don't have a lot of interesting characters here. The characters are not that interesting aside of the two that I mentioned, maybe, and maybe one other. So you just want to see Alien versus Predator. You just want to see the two creatures fighting, and they do give you that, but I think they could have gone a bit further with it.
Fair enough. Stu, what do you got?
Yeah, this is a weird PG-13 alien movie, and it's so interesting that they made that choice. I think, to borrow what Carlo was saying about Resurrection, I think they realized that putting an alien against a predator was going to look so much like a cartoon that they could get away with making everything else PG-13, so they just went with it. But the biggest problem I have with this movie, it is the 55-minute mark in this movie before we see an alien fight a predator. And that is unacceptable for a movie called Alien versus Predator. I should not be waiting an hour for an alien to versus a predator in a movie called Alien versus Predator. It's unacceptable, but I think once you get to that point, the last act of this movie is fun, and there's a queen, and there's one predator left, and he kind of makes friends with Sana Lathan's character, and they kind of mark themselves with alien blood, like, look, I'm a hunter too, that's great. And I think this movie is more stupid fun than it has any right to be. I'm very forgiving of this movie for some reason. I think even in the first two acts, when things are admittedly dragging a little bit, Lathan and Henriksen have really good chemistry and their characters get along really well. And you keep expecting Weyland to end up heel turning on everyone because of what we know about the Weyland-Yutani Corporation. And he doesn't. He ends up being a good guy. And I like that the movie subverted my expectation for what I thought was going to come of him. And I don't know, I just don't dislike this movie as much as I probably should, because it's a PG-13 alien movie, and it's a dumb idea of what if xenomorphs fought Yachtjas, or however you say what the predator breed is.
We don't.
But it's just stupid, and it works. It's not as good as Freddy versus Jason. It's not as good as Kong versus Godzilla, but I'd watch this movie 10 more times over Batman versus Superman, that's for sure.
Fair. Pete, what do you think?
Yeah, if you're concerned about how soon or how little Alien versus Predator fighting is, don't rewatch Kong versus Godzilla, because it's kind of the same thing. It's like you have to have all this development, like build up until you get, and then either you get a fight early and then a long break and then a big fight at the end, or it takes a long time to get there and you have kind of a ramping effect with the action. And I don't love this movie. I don't hate it either. It's kind of a 3-star banger. This is like good trash. You could put it on when friends are over and be talking over the movie and still have a fun time, because you're like, ooh, look at that set piece. It's like an Aztec temple. And it's like, I like the concept. The concept, number one, it's a 2,000 miles under the ice. It's kind of interesting because you're like, okay, well, maybe there's a different time, thousands of years ago, before the Ice Age or whatever. But they still have like boiling lava down there, and like liquid nitrogen. They pull the queen out of the liquid nitrogen pit. Like, when was this? It was just the whole time it's down there, and no one noticed it. Through all of our technologies or whatever. I like the set pieces. I like the idea. I remember when this first was marketed, and I was a youngster, and I watched. I was a senior in high school when this came out, and I remember seeing it as a junior or whatever, or maybe senior, or whatever, and I was thinking, "Holy shit, this is the greatest fucking idea I've ever heard in my life!" and they're gonna fight each other. This better be good. And I watched it, and I was like, as a 17-year-old, I was like, "This is great, super fun, super campy and cheesy." As an adult, it's like the acting has a lot left to be desired. It's the storyline. I like the continuity, trying to connect the two franchises together. I think they did a pretty good job of it. And honestly, we probably wouldn't have Prey if it wasn't for this. Looking back into the past of how the Predators were integrating into the humanized society, I think maybe that seed was planted kind of early. But I don't know. It's fine. It's not great. As soon as I finished it, I said, me and my girlfriend watched all these together. And I was like, well, that was easily the worst one of all the ones we watched. And she goes, I liked it. I'm like, it's all right. I did like the cast of characters, though. Tommy Flanagan, Ewan Bremner. He's the guy in Snatch. He's got the really, really thick accent. Two Smoking
He's
Girls,
also in The Rundown.
Yeah.
Trainspotting.
Trainspotting. And then Peter Yackel, who we've actually had as a guest on our show before. He directed a movie called Medieval, starring Ben Foster and Michael Caine, about a Slovakian war general from like the historical time or something like that. He's also the guy in Triple X who says, "Bitches come," and then slaps. It's Triple X 2, I think, or whatever. But anyways, good.
State of the Union?
It might have. I can't remember if it's the first one or the second one, but I asked him to say it on the show. He did it for us. It was very nice. So I think more than anything, the set is cool, and like the idea of how they wrap the two franchises together was pretty cool. And I do like the one other bit that I really enjoyed about it, besides the friendship and the warriorhood. I didn't really buy her too much of like being this ultimate like respected warrior by the Predators. She kind of like fell ass backwards into most of the kills. And I think they could see through that. I don't think they're that dumb. But the thing I did like is I liked how they did the net marking on the head of the one xenomorph, and he became the protagonist. I was like, ooh, that's cool. I play a video game called Dead by Daylight, and it's like a horror chase sort of campaign game. And one of the xenomorph is one of the killers you can play as, and one of the alternative skins is the one with the net burn on his head. And I was like, ooh, that's cool. That's from Alien vs. Predator. And it's about the only thing I can remember super fondly about that, honestly.
Ed, what are you thinking?
It's a movie. I mean, for whatever reason, it took them like 15 years to come up with an AVP movie after the late 80s. They had video games and shit between these two. There's probably a toy line of Aliens vs. Predator. I mean, there was a damn Xenomorph skull in Predator 2. I was hyping up the appearance of the two franchises. And then we get Paul Thomas. Jesus Christ.
You wish.
Paul W.S. Anderson
Paul Thomas Anderson's Alien versus
Resident
Predator.
Evil. Yeah, not Paul, not that Anderson. Hot off
Wes
Resident
Anderson.
Evil. He comes and puts this movie together, and his idea is we'll put it in a pyramid in an igloo down in Antarctica, and we'll just have aliens, and we'll have, for whatever reason, we'll have a queen down there, and then all you gotta do is like jerk a chain and start the assembly line, dust off the cobwebs after 2, 3, 5 billion years, and all of a sudden, like Stu said, fucking lava's gonna form, and it's like a fucking chain belt starts, and all of a sudden these eggs form, and the predator's got to fight somebody, and then they stole their weapon, their guns, so we got to have a reason for the predators to come to this random ass pyramid down in the middle of nowhere in Antarctica. I mean, it's an idea, it's something. There's some fun moments, I guess, overall, but not much to talk about. Next.
Ed's done with this movie.
He's done. Look,
he's washed his hands of it.
When Predator 2
hands
came
are clean,
out,
baby.
When Predator 2 came out, and you saw the alien skull in the Predator spaceship, people were clamoring for this team up, right? And it was literally like 10 years later they finally got around to it. I actually saw this movie in theaters, and my reaction was disappointment. I was very disappointed, and wasn't like I thought it was a piece of shit, but it was like there was no Arnold Schwarzenegger character, there was no Sigourney Weaver character. I love Sanaa Lathan, but that's not really what. I don't know if they were trying to make her that kind of character, but she just wasn't that way.
She didn't have it. She was very I don't know. Like she already had the edge. And Sigourney Weaver, through both, even in the second one, she's like, I guess I'll drive the loader, and then ends up killing the queen with the loader.
Right.
The only one she comes in already being a badass is number 4 when she's a mutant.
Well, and what did they establish, that she's like a guide who leads expeditions through the Antarctica, and then they kind of just yada yada past that. They're like, get off the boat. Oh, we're here. It's a good thing you came along.
You gotta get our characters there. You gotta have an actual movie take place.
My dad trained all the pilots that fly up here.
I forgot to mention, I watched the unrated version of this movie. I don't know about you guys, but
Jesus,
because it actually was filmed as intended with all the gore and death scenes and stuff like that. But then the studio cut it down to PG-13 for whatever reason. I still, after all these years, don't understand that move. But here we are. And it's not. I'm not gonna say it's like a much better film, but it's definitely better. There's a whole pre-credit sequence, like a whole opening massacre. It takes place in like I don't know, some time era. I forgot what year it takes place, but it's definitely like way back when. In the township where this magical hole that goes down to a damn pyramid is based from, and then. All the blood that was digitally removed for the PG-13 theatrical release is intact and such. So you're just pretty much, putting glitter on a pile of shit. That's it. Next, why haven't we moved on? God damn it!
Our top 5s are going to be all over the map. I'm very excited to hear everybody's top 5 at this point.
Can't wait.
Well, I love that Waylon just carries a team of mercenaries with him wherever he goes for no reason. Here's my personal army. Yeah, good thing I brought them along in this archaeological expedition. Anyway.
I mean, YouTubers have bodyguards now, so it's not that far-fetched.
It's our mission now.
What's that old Hendrickson guy doing? Let's bring him back to the franchise.
He's available.
He can be Waylon. He can be Charles Waylon. It.
He was always available. It's always.
Well, and again, this movie is not canon for either franchise. They've all disowned the AVP movies. So good times had by all.
Why would that be?
Let's go ahead and take a look at Alien versus Predator Requiem. IMDb describes this as warring alien and predator races descend on a rural Colorado town where unsuspecting residents must band together for any chance of survival. Good stuff. Stu, why don't you start, Stu?
Sure. So for an Alien versus Predator movie, this isn't a bad mid-2000s CW drama. Because there's like this weird... We're in this small town and there are like 30-year-olds that are clearly playing teenagers for some reason.
And they're all Canadian.
They're all Canadian and they've got their various love interests and so like so-and-so, but her ex-boyfriend is jealous and they're going to have a fight. And I'm just like, remember when this franchise was about aliens? Yeah. That was fun.
Yeah, it's One Tree Hill.
Yeah, it absolutely is. It's like, we're going to go to the high school and sneak in for a swim. And I'm like, this is pointless. I don't care about any of this. But at least this one went R-rated. At least this one decided like, okay, we're going to be an R-rated movie because Alien versus Predator 1 wasn't. But
this is what people want.
Instead of like, hey, we're going to go hard R, we're going to make stuff happen. This movie's like, what if you couldn't see anything that was happening though? Wouldn't that make it better?
I would say yes.
If the editing was so choppy and the lighting was so dim that you couldn't tell anything was going on, wouldn't that make this movie so much better of an improvement? And I don't know, this movie's just so generic. This is the hardest one out of all the ones I've watched to sit here and think about anything that happens in it because it was just so dull. It's the dishwater of the Alien franchise. I wasn't excited about anything that happened. Pretty much the coolest thing that happens in this movie happens at the beginning where you're like, oh shit, this movie had the balls to kill off a little kid.
Yeah. That was shocking.
Yeah, and then it just settles into mediocrity for the rest of the way. And it's not a good mediocrity. It's not like I'm going to give this movie a mediocre grade. It's just, it felt like mediocre filmmaking. The score is boring. The visuals are boring. Nothing stands out in this movie. And you could tell like nothing in this franchise has felt as much like a cash grab as this one did.
That's good.
Fair. Pete, what are you thinking?
I know filmmakers that use lighting on set, and those filmmakers are cowards. Made this film on hard mode. They're like one light on any setup for any camera. One light. We're using one light. You're getting what you get. It's comically bad in the sense that you can't see anything that's happening. Even when something potentially interesting is happening on screen, you can't even see what's happening, so it doesn't matter. So it's like, can you fill in the visual with your mind and put it all together? I'm not going to, not for this movie, because the characters stink. It's like, I think that you nailed it, Stu. It's like a teen drama. It's like a WB's teen drama. It's terrible in that regard. You don't care about any of the characters. None of them are particularly good. None of them are particularly bad. You have this like Army veteran mom coming back from war that kind of comes to fruition a little bit, but it seems like she's just as proficient with these advanced weapons that they find after the National Guard is wiped out that everybody else in the town is. And I don't know if that's just because it's Colorado and everybody supposedly hunts there or whatever, but
that's how they roll.
I don't know. It's like none of it's engaging, none of it's interesting. I'm trying to think of like any good parts of it.
Take a minute.
The end.
Yeah, it's like
the credits.
Take a second.
You know what? The credits were funny because it kind of ended like a Michael Bay movie with like this like interesting soundtrack sting, like a needle drop, and then it says a Brother Strauss production. And you're like, okay, who the are these guys? I look back to their IMDb.
To be heard from again.
They made like a 10-minute short, like 6 years before this, but they were as directors, but they were visual effects people. They did VFX and special effects for a ton of like, big movies. Well, that's the problem. Is like it's almost like saying, I mean, the guy's a great chef, so he could probably change my transmission on my car. It's not the same thing. a VFX artist and a director are two very different things. They don't translate. The one doesn't naturally mean you're going to get something good from the other part of it. So, I think that it's pretty bad. Easily the worst. It stinks. It made it into the anti-vault on binge movies for a reason. Terrible.
Wow.
Yeah.
Would you guys be surprised if this film made $130 million worldwide?
Wow.
Oh, boy.
What was the budget?
40.
Damn.
It made money.
It's a hit.
That's
and
a
I'm
hit,
surprised
right?
considering the fact that 20th Century Fox just dumped this movie in the theaters on Christmas Day.
Oh, really? It's a Christmas
movie.
Okay.
It came out Christmas Day. I remember that. Like, they did not give a shit.
I do like that they had the balls to drop a bomb in the middle of town and obliterate everybody that was just waiting there.
Yeah.
So that was cool. You're like,
Merry Christmas.
Nothing. Like, none of it mattered anyways. Like, 3 people survived.
Where are we all at on the Predator alien design?
Not a fan.
What?
Boring.
They don't do anything with it. He just has the thing, but that's it.
I was thinking that I don't know what being part predator brings to an alien, because everything special about predators is their equipment.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I just remember walking out of the theaters when I saw AVP and like that stinger at the end with like the tease of the creature. Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's cute. And then like they literally start this movie like 2 seconds after that shot, and somehow it like, just like we talked about earlier, like the actual like length of time it takes for these things to grow. It's like all of a sudden it crash lands on Earth and this thing is like the size of like 20 people. And it's just like, for whatever reason, just circling pregnant chicks or like taking females and just impregnating them with like 20 eggs and shit. Like, it's so degrading.
The eggs going down in their throat.
You're God.
Oh,
I forgot about that.
They were ballsy, yeah.
When that happened, I was like, I think some freak is getting an erection right now while watching.
And like,
it was disturbing. And then also the one, the Predatalian is sitting there like just off screen, and then the other doctors come around. They're like, "Oh my God, what's happening?" And her like stomach bursts open, and there's the nest of chest bursters are in there, and he just comes out of nowhere to check on his kids, like he's a dad who's waiting for them to be born or whatever. The scene right before that, before she gets attacked by the Predatalian, the Xenopredator, the doctor is tending to her. The I don't know if she's a doctor or nurse. She's tending to her, and she says, all the power's out in the hospital, and the woman is laying there fully ready to have a baby.
Right.
And she goes, when is the lights going to come back on? She goes, well, we don't know. We're on the generator right now. And she goes, I think my water just broke. The other one goes, I'll go find a doctor. And they leave just that nonchalant. Like, there is no sense of urgency. There's no concern in their voice. They did 20 takes, and that was the best one.
That was as good as it got.
Brother Strauss could not conjure an emotion out of those 2 actresses.
Carla, what are you thinking?
This was the only one that I hadn't seen before. Before I did this watch through. I have to say, this is a bad film, but I was expecting, based on all the times I had seen this film in worst films list and stuff, I was expecting way worse. And it's bad, but it's not as bad as a bunch of other films I've seen. It has a lot of the things that you guys talk about. It has bad acting, the poor story, the lighting is terrible, characters are awful, they are introduced in a way that doesn't feel at all organically. It's like episodical TV, like you said. It's like, here is this character and he's coming into town. Oh, I'm rough guy that looking for my brother. And here's this woman, oh, my husband, the military woman, they kill her husband, and a couple of minutes later she's flirting with this other guy. Like, you got to do what you got to do.
You got to get it right.
But it's one of those movies that it's bad, but I kind of had fun with it in its dumbness. In the middle of it, how dumb and how bad it is, I wasn't bored. I know it's bad, but I wasn't bored. So it's a weird like balance that I have with it with the previous one. The previous one had like an interesting story, but the execution was a bit dull. And this one is a bad story, bad characters, bad everything, but it was fun. And it had gore, and the kills were so. I had to they're both not good, but so yeah, that's more or less where I stand. But yeah, it's probably near the bottom for me, if not at the bottom.
It is kind of just forgettable, in all honesty. It is. The last movie and this one, the two AVP movies, are the only ones that take place in modern times. All the rest of them take place at least, 100 years in the future, 50 years in the future, whatever it is. Yeah. In a way, the plot would make more sense if, like, Jason was in town. You know what I mean? Rather than an alien, right? Because it's that kind of thing. Here are these kind of annoying teenagers in their fucked up relationships, and there's bullies, and it's like, who gives a shit, right? All this stuff.
Kill them already.
Kill them. And it's like you said, they introduce I guess she's a army pilot or something coming back from the war, and she seems to only be brought in here so that later she can fly the helicopter that they need to escape.
Yeah.
Like, she's totally unrelated. Like, it's like, who cares? Like, her husband.
The other characters even say it. We have to protect whatever her name was. We have to protect her.
The rest of us could die. We have to keep her safe. It's like,
she's the only one that can fly the plane. Well, or the helicopter or whatever.
Right.
It's easy for them to run into like the helicopter's there and the pilot just is there because they just landed the helicopter, and they'd be like, hey, can you get us out of here? And like, sure, hop on.
It's like, thank goodness.
They eliminated that character completely.
Right. 100%.
We're still talking about this movie.
I know. We're wrapping it up, but there was the whole thing where the Predator was like destroying the evidence. He had like a little vial of something. It's like, why? Yeah. Why do you give a shit?
He's a fixer.
Is that what it was?
On the trivia, that was on the production crew, they called him that Predator Wolf after Vincent Wolf from Pulp Fiction.
Winston Wolf. Yeah, Harvey Keitel.
Yeah, he flies from the Predator planet to basically get rid of the evidence, and they like sprinkle some fairy dust on the guy, and he melts.
Predator ass.
Yeah, we had to see an 8-year-old get attacked by the face hugger, get the chest burster, and then his corpse get dissolved. So it's a banner day. Anyway, sweet Jesus. Okay. Yeah. Next on the list, we've got the original prequel, I guess.
Yes.
Prometheus from 2012. IMDb describes it as, following clues to the origin of mankind, a team finds a structure on a distant moon, but they soon realize they are not alone.
That's no moon.
Also. That's no bueno. Pete, what do you got? Let's start with you.
So this is one of the few that I saw on first release in theaters. I saw it with my dad, and I think me and my dad have similar tastes in the sense that it's like I'd rather like a movie than not like a movie, and I'd rather go into it and be like, it's pretty good. I liked it. I didn't really get how it connected to a lot of the alien stuff, but I liked it, and that's kind of how I feel about this. It's visually stunning. I love the look of it. Love. Probably filmed in Iceland or somewhere, that looks like another planet, but it just happens to be on the northern hemisphere. And I liked seeing the engineers. I still think about why that guy drank the black goo and disintegrated himself into the river. It's like, to this day, I'm like, was he seeding the planet with his DNA? Was he like separating the DNA down to its smallest components, annihilation style? And then basically like planting his DNA into the river so it flowed into the nature and then created life. Is that what we're led to believe? I don't know. So I like movies that do this where they give you some shit happening and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I see what's.
And you must love this fucking movie.
Yeah. And then you're like, ooh, there's there's like an Egyptian tomb chamber where they have all these jars with more of that goo in there. But this goo doesn't turn you into disintegrated DNA parts. There's snakes or something in there. And you're like, okay, alien snake. All right, I'm cool with that. So like all the little like iterations and developments as they find the snake thing, the triangular headed snake thing that almost looks like a face hugger, but without the legs. And you're like, okay, that's a cool idea. Break the guy's arm, fucks the other guy up, goes down his throat, and then you get something. The only part of it I really kind of disliked, like actively disliked, is what happens to the Scottish character, the Irish character. Like he almost turns into like a zombie of sorts.
Yes. Five-fold.
Yeah, I don't.
Sean Harris.
I don't understand that. Yeah, Sean Harris. Yeah, I don't understand that, and I don't like it. But I like almost everything else in the movie, because it doesn't give you a straight A to B. I love Idris Elba, how he's spitting his game at Charlize Theron. I love that he plays the squeeze box. I love that it's a Christmas movie. I love that these stupid archaeologists were like, hey, there's some pictures on a wall. Let's fly to the other side of the fucking galaxy based off of 3 stars carved into a cave wall. It's like, that's the dumbest idea. But somehow they finessed Yutani Corporation into fund that mission. And I liked everything else. Oh, yeah, and Guy Pearce's terrible old makeup. Besides that, and the Sean Harris's demise, I thought I had a good time with this. I revisit this one quite often, actually.
Ed! Go for it.
Oh, man. Prometheus. I really wanted to like you. I've always carried the same opinion of this film since 2012. I just think this is the least interesting, pretentious, most underwhelming thing I can think of. I was so hyped for this movie. I wanted to get behind this film so bad, and I was so let down. It was just Ridley Scott coming back to the franchise to just spew his religious overtones and meaning of life and Adam and Eve, and it's like, God, just give me a fucking Xenomorph movie. Just, if you're gonna go way back and tell us where they came from, then like, I don't care about these engineers and this black goo and shit and God damn it, this movie just irritates the hell out of me. I'm sorry. I really have always wanted to like this movie, but it reminds me of Superbad. It's a film that I've always wanted to like so bad, but I just, in the end, just hate it. I just, sorry. I'm not really gonna have much to contribute to this conversation, fellas.
No,
spoiler alert.
No, like consideration, considering this is the first one that Ridley Scott came back to do since his baby.
That's why I was so prepared for this and so excited and hyped for it. But then, granted, I missed it in theaters. I forgot for whatever reason or another. I didn't see it.
What's the thing about Ridley? Just when you think he zigs,
finally saw it. Just, I don't know, man. I was like, what are we doing? What is this shit?
What are we doing?
We're drinking black. It's not even a xenomorph.
That's what we're doing.
No, I'm sorry.
You
I see how it ties into Covenant, and we'll get to that next. But no.
Okay.
I didn't need this movie. I'm sorry, and I know people love this movie, and I get why they love it, and I get it, but it's not for me.
I
think a lot of people love this movie.
Very, very polarizing, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people who love this one and a lot of people who hate this one. I think this is the most divisive of the entire franchise. Most of the other ones, there's a pretty consistent general consensus on, but this one is all over the map.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I'm team this movie.
Okay. Carlo, what are you thinking?
I think that just in line with what Stu was saying, I think this is one of the ones that I'm most torn in terms of the overall themes and the execution and whatnot, because I like a lot of the things that really Scott is bringing to the table. A lot of the elevated themes of life, death, mortality. Where does humanity come from? I kind of like those themes. But on the other hand, he pairs it with some dumb scientist doing dumb shit. And
nonstop.
They're so dumb.
I don't like that I contrasted with what we were talking about Alien, and I brought that up with when we were talking about it. How smart these characters behaved, even though they were miners, blue collar miners, and here you have scientists. Oh, I'm going to take my helmet off. I have to take my helmet off. There's a snake cobra. That water cobra. I'm going to play with it.
Like imbeciles.
Hey, little girl, how you doing?
And you get. I can't believe we haven't talked about David, because he's actually the most interesting character in this.
Oh, absolutely.
But you get David touching everything. I have to touch everything. It's so in a way I feel kind of like Ed said, it irritates me at times, because there's potential for a lot of stuff, of good stuff here, and then he decides
film has serious potential.
I'm gonna mix it up with this dumb shit, one thing that Ed mentioned, Guy Pearce, the makeup is terrible, and I think but I think he's wasted. He's a great actor, and I saw as I tried to watch a lot of shorts of about the franchise. There's a short that I mentioned to you that's called TED 2023 something, and it's just it was directed by Luke Scott, I think, really son, and it's just this like presentation that he's making to a whole bunch of audience about the plans he has for this mission and whatnot. And I could have watched 2 hours of this guy talking. You gotta look for that short. Because he's great. I mean, he's not in makeup. He's young. He's his younger self. He's regular Guy Pearce. At TED 2023, the Peter Whalen Files TED 2023 or TED Conference 2023, something like that. And it's great. Because you see this character mind kind of working and the wheels turning about what are his motivations, what are his goals, and then you get this shit. So again, I'm very torn. I like David. I like the character of David because I think he embodies a lot of those motivations that Peter Whalen has, those doubts about creation, mortality, life, death, and whatnot. But then there are a lot of stuff that I don't like. I like the lead girl, Nomi Rapace. I think she's good.
Great.
Somebody mentioned that the cesarean or abortion machine. I think that's a tense scene, even if it doesn't make sense.
I love it.
That she would be running around afterwards. She's stapling her belly to. It doesn't make sense at all, but it's a tense scene. The execution, at least in that part, it works. But yeah, I'm very torn on this.
That's a practical creature too.
Yeah.
Is it the squid, the giant squid.
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
what the Stu, go ahead, brother.
To piggyback on all of Carlo's points, no movie in the history of cinema has so much wanted to have their cake and eat it too, as much as Prometheus, where it wants to be swooping and gorgeous and have these wonderful, beautiful scenery and everything that's going on. And it wants to have these in-depth, thoughtful topics like how does humanity relate to their creator? If you could meet your creator, what would your relationship to that creator be? And what is our place in the universe? And are we an accident? Are we here purposefully? And it has all these grand scopes. And at the same time, it has like, oh my God, I can't turn left or right. I can only run in a straight line away from this rolling spaceship. And yeah, I want to pet the space cobra. And yeah, I just had severe abdominal surgery, but now I'm going to do like athletics in the wake of that. It combines the most mind-blowingly stupid stuff ever committed to cinema with like these high themes and highbrow content and high level of filmmaking, and it's just it just blows me out of the room trying to comprehend this movie. I don't understand how you make this movie. I don't understand how this, in an Alien franchise, we're going to make a movie and not have goddamn aliens in it. Like it's full of baffling decisions. Like, who watching the Alien franchise was like, you know what I want? I want an entire movie out of the big guy from the first Alien movie that they found. I want that.
It's not an Alien film. It's the only one that doesn't have the alien prefix.
It doesn't, but it's in the franchise. We're talking about it with the Alien franchise because it's part of that, and it's
bad respect. Actually,
I remember when this movie was going to come out. Initially, they made a big point of saying it's part of the Alien franchise. And then David Lindelof, who was one of the writers, was like, no, not an Alien movie, but it's part of the same universe.
Yeah, that bullshit they tried to tell us.
100%. And the other good thing about this movie is it's the first of 3 movies where the title is just the name of the ship.
Yeah.
Because we can't come up with any other titles for these goddamn things. And like I said, David Lindelof, famously the guy who was behind Lost, where it was nonstop throwing shit at the wall. I don't know what it means. And then at the end, they're like, well, it really wasn't about the mystery. It was about the friends we made along the way. It's like, what? I watched 5 seasons of this, and that's what you got for me? Totally. So, but it's not... That's what he's about. He's about like mystery. It's all like meaningless nonsense. Like, what is all the black slime that's everywhere? The big containers. What is the purpose of that? Why did the one dude drink it at the beginning of the movie? Unclear. Why are all the scientists imbeciles? Right? The one guy taking his helmet off, like you said. Like, you're a biologist. There's an unknown alien species swirling around. Are you really going to act like, ooh, I'm at a petting zoo, right? You're a biologist. Anyway, there's a lot of that. And then it's just her husband gets infected with the goo and they have sex. So now she's pregnant with a squid. And then the squid grows up to be a giant squid. And then the giant squid does the same face hugger shit to the giant engineer who's running around. And now there's another creature who pops out, also not an alien, though. Just a more closer. We're knocking on the door, but still not quite there.
Baby.
One of the things I shared on Twitter when we were watching it is that I'm sure there has to be an SOP somewhere that says how to treat a possible contagion that doesn't include flamethrowing the person in front of his loved one.
Well, that's the same thing in Resurrection when she's like, "Kill me!" Like with the flamethrower. Put a bullet in her head. That's you. You know,
fair.
Of all the egregious, ridiculous things that they do, too. I mean, it's reminiscent of the first Alien when she's like, he can't come on board. Something's on him. There's protocols for a reason, and of course, Ash, working for the company, opens the door. In this case, it's human stupidity, but she's looking at him. He looks like he's about to come undone, like literally disintegrate in the suit, and she's like, no, we can save him. Everyone else is like, what are you talking about? He's dead. Put him on this ship. And everyone's just like, yeah, I agree with the boss lady. She should whoever kill that guy. And she just can't accept it. It's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate, like the rest of this movie. Very unfortunate. Any last thoughts about Prometheus before we move on?
Absolutely not.
One of the things that I think extends to the next one, and I think that I said how I was torn in how I felt about this film, and I think that Ridley Scott is in how he handled these 2 films. I think he is torn too between giving the audience what they want, which is aliens and gore and kills and whatnot, and what he wants, which is to explore humanity and life and these elevated themes. And I think he is like trying to, I want to do this film, but I want to give also what the studio and the audience wants, which is this and this and this. And I think you get that, you feel that push and pull from one thing and the other, and I think it hurts both films.
That's a good point. One thing I want to say that maybe put me in hot water is that when you watch a David Lynch movie and you don't know what the it's about, everyone's like, "Wow, genius, great." David Lynch, one of the great. And you watch this movie and everyone's like, "What the is that? What's the black goo?" It's like, just bask in it, just absorb it, feel the vibe. You're in the alien planet, you're in the past, and all the here's the
when you're marketed as a prequel to like one of the biggest horror movies of all time, then you gotta deliver. Yeah. You gotta deliver, not your own pretentious, self-righteousness bullshit. It's like it's whatever the hell Ridley Scott is spewing in this movie. Like, I don't know, get it out of my fucking alien movie.
The end of the earth, though.
It's like if I filmed a video of one of my cats just walking around for 2 hours, and I just filmed my cat for 2 hours doing cat things, and then I put it in the internet, and I was like, "This is a prequel to the Avengers."
Yes.
This takes place in the Avengers universe. It might not be an Avengers story, but it takes place there.
I like the analogy.
100%. Allegedly.
Okay. On that note, moving on to 2017's Alien Covenant. IMDb describes it as the crew of a colony ship bound for a remote planet discover an uncharted paradise with a threat beyond their imagination and must attempt a harrowing escape. Ed, let's lead it off with you.
This is a straight up slasher movie, and I love it for it. Saw this film many times in the theater, 3 to be exact.
Wow.
I just, for reasons, pretty much a lot of the same reasons why I love Resurrection so much is just it's an alien killing good time, and I have a lot of fun with it. A lot of big name cast in this movie. I love the film. I love the fact that it has the balls to kill off James Franco within the first 2 minutes. Yeah, it doesn't even have any dialogue in this movie, unless you saw that prequel or that prequel scene or whatever it was that they released online.
The Last Supper.
The Last Supper. Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of big names in this movie. A lot of people that just get killed off left and right. I love the film for it. Ridley Scott pretty much made up for that mess that was Prometheus with this movie, in my opinion. And one of my favorites of this franchise, actually. I really like Covenant. I really do. I love the idea of the black, even though I hate the black goo from Prometheus. It's kind of like the black goo from Prometheus was born or was what's the analogy? So the spores in this film could walk or whatever.
Oh, the goo walks, so the spores could run.
Yeah. Thank you.
Spores could fly.
One of those things. But yeah, man, I love that it's just so gnarly, especially when the one comes out of the dude's head and shit. It takes the whole chestburster effect to a whole new level. So this is the true Alien prequel that we all deserved. Yeah, it's not perfect.
Okay,
there are cons. Definitely got cons.
Carla, what are you thinking?
I think that I share a lot of the criticisms I have on this one with the ones I had on Prometheus. But I like how in this one Scott says, I had dumb scientists in the previous one. These ones are going to be dumber from the get-go, because not only do they remove their helmets. No. They're going to walk in an uncharted planet that they hadn't known anything about. Why don't we go to this planet? Boom. We don't know nothing about it, but let's go there and let's walk around without helmets and suits and anything. We don't care about that. So I don't know why, but I kind of accept that from the get-go, they're dumb. It's not like the other one. I'm gonna remove my helmet. I don't care. They don't care about spacesuits or anything. Yeah, but you get the same thing about, I had these elevated themes, and I also want to be a slasher movie. But I think that the fact that he leans more into the gore and the horror and the slashing and whatnot makes it feel more consistent. So I think I kind of like this one a bit more for that. It's not necessarily because the execution is better, but I think that consistency makes it feel like a more realized film than Prometheus might be. Um, I like the contrast between both of Michael Fassbender's characters, Walter and David. I like that a lot. Um, I like the lead character, Daniels, Catherine Waterstone, I think.
Waterston.
Sam
Uh,
Waterston's daughter.
yeah, it,
Mm.
it's yeah, it's interesting how they feel the need, and it's something that most of the films do, and even the TV show, they feel the need. We have to find a way to stick a short-haired female somewhere just so that she's the lead, and you kind of see that
That's very
on
important.
pretty much every film. You got Noomi Rapace, you got Catherine Waterstone, you got what's her name in Alien Earth,
Kayleen Spanley.
yeah, in Romulus,
That's
but in
Romulus.
Alien Earth, the main clone in Alien Earth is also a short-haired main girl. Um, but I like her. I like Waterstone, and I like how bleak the ending is. I love the ending. The ending is quite don't let the bedbugs bite. Um, it's very dark, and
It's very dark.
all those David plans of what he's going to do with all these colonists. I like that bleakness of the end. So yeah, maybe a bit higher than I don't even know where I put it in my ranking, but probably a bit higher, a notch higher than Prometheus.
Okay. Stu.
Yeah.
I really thought I was going to be on a lonely island here, but apparently not so much. I also liked this one more than Prometheus. At least this one had the decency to have fucking xenomorphs in it, which is what I want from my Alien movie. And I love thinking about the idea that somewhere behind the scenes, two producers got together and they were like, so we're going to make a sequel to Prometheus. What was the best part of Prometheus? Well, it was clearly Michael Fassbender. What if we had more Michael Fassbenders in this movie? What do you mean, like more scenes of him or more dialogue from him? The other guy was like, no, literally more of him. And so you've got the two Fassbenders, and they're each affecting a different accent, and I like the way they play off each other. You see a mile away coming that David is the one that survives at the end, but that's fine. I don't think it's supposed to be a big twist, so I don't hold that against it. I think you're supposed to have seen that coming. But yeah, I thought this one was a little more action adventure-y, had some stuff going on. I liked seeing Danny McBride play a serious character for like the first time ever in his career, or at least the first time I can ever think of a Danny McBride character being in a serious role. Right. So it was interesting. It's not good, but it's interesting. And it's aside from that, it's down there with not Resurrection, with Alien versus Predator Requiem, where like if I'm pressed to sit here and think about things that happened in this movie, it's another hard one to do that to, because it feels very generic as you get through this movie. Like stuff kind of happens and there's a storm. Can we go to within 80 miles of the storm? Sure. Can we get to within 40 miles of the storm? No, don't do that, but do it anyway. And it's just it's adequate. It's adequate.
Okay.
There are alien fruits. Let's smell this thing. What is this? Let's
smell those giant blueberries on the floor.
There's something coming out her back, and I don't know what to do. Let me shoot at the inflammable things
with my grenade launcher. Pete, what do you got?
So you have to. I mean, it's a direct sequel to Prometheus, so you got to think of the two of them in conjunction with each other. Right. And I like it less than Prometheus. But what the only reason why I think it's a little bit lower is that I was very excited to continue the story of David. And he's the most interesting thing about both of those movies when you see him together. If you see just Prometheus in a bubble, David's interesting, but he's not Like you think it just ends when you see the prologue at the beginning of him and young, like real life Guy Pearce without makeup on, and he has like he has a half a step, like a half a pause of disdain for him for saying, "Bring me my tea," and it's like one step away from him, and he like pauses and looks at him and says, "Of course." And you're like, okay, so that sets up enough of like character development to be like, okay, David's gonna be interesting, and then you see him and he's almost like playing God on his own right, and thinking about the role of AI and in our current life and what could happen if the AI is able to improve upon itself and essentially create life. It's like, baby, we're in the Matrix at that point. And this is an interesting interpretation of that similar sort of a story and the similar fear that I think we all have as technology progresses. So I love David. I didn't love every choice that they made with him, like him being on like the alien planet or whatever the hell it was. It's not the alien planet, the
engineers planet.
Engineers,
yeah. I was like, okay, yeah, I could see it. It's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I would have gone in a different direction, but him interacting with the Walter bot was really cool. There's a lot of interesting like Easter egg stuff there. If you read through the trivia, there's a line that he says that's basically like, come in and I'll teach you or something like that. And it's a reference to an old story about a person who finds a flute that you play it and it summons a spirit to bring death upon both of them or something like that. And it's like, it's interesting little tidbits and things like that. And I like watching David essentially lose his mind as a robot. That part was enjoyable to me. The Billy Crudup was dumb character. Was dumb, but he's a settler, and that's a dumb thing to do. Yeah, what's the name?
Orem.
Yeah. So I don't know. I like Catherine Waterston in the role. I love the effects of it. I think that the neomorphs, is that what they call them in this one? Neomorphs. I think that the graphics sometimes were pretty good and sometimes were not so much. But I liked how they took real life what's the word? It's like the real life attributes and characteristics of something in nature, the goblin shark, and made the hinged jaw come out. That's like taken directly from a goblin shark.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And it's like, I like when you're thinking, okay, well, the predators open their mouth like this. The aliens have the little tongue that comes out, the hard tongue that comes out, which is so ridiculous in Alien vs. Predator and Requiem, the use of the tongue. And then just like in Blade, when they have to do something interesting with the like hybrid vampire character, they've split the jaw open like that. You're like, holy fuck. Seeing the jaw distend and come out and have a second articulation to it, you're like, oh, that's really cool. It took something slightly different and made it just as menacing and also disgusting and all that kind of stuff. So lot to like about it, but I didn't love it.
Okay. One of the things I want to piggyback quickly on something that Pete mentioned about Walter and David, and the word covenant means like a pact. It's like a pact you have with someone, and it's interesting how you get this different this contrast between both characters and how they each have a different covenant or a different pact. Like Walter is dedicated, his pact is with humans. I want to protect this crew, while David's covenant or pact is with himself and how he wants to play God and find out what he can do. And I think it's really interesting. And also, to piggyback on another thing, I didn't mention this on Prometheus, but I love how they play with the whole how he wants to be like T.E. Lawrence from Lawrence of Arabia.
Right.
He combs his hair the same way, and the way he his accent is borrowed from that film. And if you haven't seen Lawrence of Arabia, T.E. Lawrence is someone that thought he was like a god to this country that he was liberating, and he felt that he was this godlike persona. I think it's one of those interesting things they kind of lean on, and I love how they play with that in these two films. So yeah, I like that part.
One thing I will say is, at least compared to Prometheus, this is a pretty straightforward plot. Like, things happen and they more or less make sense. Now, there's still, we complained about how convoluted the gestation of the alien is established from jump. By this point, they're just kind of saying, whatever, anything goes, right? There's weird, there's weird mold.
I was going to mention that.
Right. if you kick one and then you're breathing it in, it's going in your ear, and now you've got a crazy faux alien growing in you. It could come out of your back or come out of your mouth, or who knows where. It could come in any orifice is available at that stage of the game.
Damien Bichir didn't have the face hugger for that long. He even wiped it off, and it even got the egg on him. So
100%. And it definitely has those kind of serial killer moments from David, right? Where it's like the reveal of Noomi Rapace's like corpse, like that he dissected her, and that's horrible and terrifying. And I guess we're supposed to think that the grand reveal is that David is the one who has created the aliens as we know them.
Yeah.
Like, it's all his creation, which is why the previous AVP movies are no longer considered canon.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how I feel about that, if I'm being honest. You know what I mean? That this is all some creation of David versus just another species that was out in the universe. I don't know. Unclear.
But I mean, how much of it really is his creation versus just him providing different types of hosts for these parasites that eventually evolved into the large xenomorphs that we know and love today?
I don't know, because like you said, they're the neomorphs that are just roaming around doing their thing. Mm-hmm. And I guess we're supposed to think that the one that comes out of Billy Crudup is the first actual alien that we know, the first xenomorph that we know. Because he was waiting. He said, because I wiped out the entire population of this planet, every life form except for the plants, I've been waiting for somebody to come and pop my egg on. So, good grief. Yeah, that ending is dark. This is a dark ending.
Yeah.
Good stuff. And I guess we'll never know where it ends up. So, go ahead, Carlo.
I know a lot of you mentioned how you were bothered by how they dispatched Hicks and Newt in Alien 3. Weren't you as bothered by how Shaw is dispatched here?
I was. It again felt like they just didn't know what to do, and it felt like such a, well, we can't get this actress back for whatever reason, so she just died on the way back to her home planet like Newton Hicks did. And it felt like such a waste, because by the end of Prometheus, for all the problems I had with Prometheus, by the end of it, I was like, all right, I'm on board with Shaw. I like this character enough. Let's see where she goes next. Oh, she dies. Okay. Well, that's where she goes next.
Like, and horrifically. Like, dies horrifically. Right? Anyway. Any last thoughts about Alien Covenant?
Ridley Scott direly overestimated how much I cared about where the engineers and the xenomorphs came from, when I could have just had more xenomorph stories.
100%. 100%. And this movie didn't do as well, so I guess they've just abandoned this whole plot line, which is kind of a bummer in the sense that I like Michael Fassbender. I would love to see more Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, he said he'll come back as David if the script plops in his lap.
He's available. Let's go ahead and look at our final installment, 2024's Alien Romulus. IMDb describes this as, while scavenging the deep ends of a derelict space station, a group of young space colonists come face to face with the most terrifying life form in the universe. Carlo, let's start with you.
Wow. Okay. This I just seen this once. I saw it like 2 months before we started this, so I had already seen it. I didn't rewatch it. But I thought it was a relatively solid film. It's a good film. I liked it. I think that one of the things that I like most it goes back to some of the things that I like in the first ones, and I like the characters. I think that they build like a good core of main characters that have good chemistry and feel uh, relatively organic and integrated. I like Rain. You get Isabella Merced. You get Andy, which is the android. And I like that whole first part where you feel that their motivations are genuine. They want to escape this planet and they want to go somewhere where they are not ruled by the company. And I like that. I Some of the things that I didn't like, I don't know, but was it just me, or did the xenomorphs or seem like slower, dumber than some of the previous ones? Like they weren't as vicious as some of the other films. Like sometimes they were just like coming and they had the chance, the characters had the chance to like run away. And I don't know, in some others they were just like pop, and they killed you. And I felt like they were like slower at some points, but not so much to bother me, but just something that I had in my mind. The part that I don't like about this one is that I think that Fede Alvarez, the director, I think he relied too much, especially towards the last act. But I think he relied too much on homages and callbacks to the original films. And I'm gonna have a film where this character is gonna show Rain how to use a gun, just like Dwayne Hicks did with Ripley. I'm gonna have this character saying the iconic line, "Get away from her, you bitch." We're gonna bring Ash back. So I thought that he leaned too much into all those homages and callbacks to the original films, and it kind of was a bit distracting for me. But overall, I think this is one of the almost top tier or mid to top tier for me.
And we should mention this is considered a direct sequel to the original Alien movie.
Yeah.
So which is again, when there's different like paths for the prequels, it always makes it interesting, to say the least.
It makes it easy to have a standard xenomorph when it just picks up right afterwards. There's none of the other mucking about with different life forms and stuff. They're just xenomorphs again.
That's all I need. Just give me some xenomorphs. Stu, what do you think?
The first 2 acts.
Right.
So you get that Romanian kid that's a basketball player coming out of the shadows, and you're like, holy shit. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
I do. I'm sad to say. Go ahead, Stu.
So yeah, you've got Kaylee Spaney and David Johnson just doing excellent work as the leads here. They're very entertaining. I have liked Spaney ever since I saw her in Civil War. I've liked David Johnson ever since I saw him in Rye Lane. I think they're two young actors in Hollywood that I'm very excited for, and I think that they were spectacular in this movie. I think that they're very talented, and I definitely enjoyed them here. In addition to that, when you get into the second and the early third acts of this movie, there's a lot of really good stuff going on. The movie really sets our protagonist up in what seems to be a can't win situation. It really puts them in this scenario where you think like, oh no, I don't see how our characters survive this, but it creates ways for them to survive that are plausible enough that I was like, okay, this doesn't feel like just being saved by the screenwriter. This feels like stuff the characters could actually do, like when the gravity goes off and they have to swim through the air kind of around the acid. I thought that was a good scene. So like when Romulus works, it really works. Like there's really good stuff going on in Romulus when they put their mind to it and are establishing stuff on the ship or using these young talented actors to the best of their ability. But then like it's also got the stuff from Prometheus where I'm like, oh, it's dumb again. Okay. Where like you have these minor characters and they're going to escape this planet. And so they get on their spaceship and they go up into space. Excuse me, They're indentured servitude miners. Why do they have a spaceship? Are spaceships as ubiquitous in this future as pop vinyls are or something? Like, they just have one sitting around that they can blast off into space? And how there's this very important to the Weyland-Yutani spaceship just out in space, and they're going to go dock on it and get what they need. How does the corporation not know it's there? How do these stupid kids know it's there, but the corporation doesn't? And then at the end, you've got yet another alien-human hybrid that is just, it looks terrible. It's not scary. It's kind of laughable. I didn't particularly care for that stuff at the end of this movie. And so it's another dichotomy of stuff that really works with stuff that is really dumb. And it blows my mind how this franchise that started off with 2 phenomenal movies just can't piece together one whole movie for me that is like, everything about this works. It's good, but it's got dumb stuff that's stuck in my craw after I watched it. But I'll forgive a lot of things for Spaney and Johnson, who I think are the best cast members we've gotten in an Alien movie since Sigourney Weaver in the first one. So I really enjoyed their presence here.
Fair. Pete.
The member berries part of it didn't really bother me too much, except for Ash. It was terrible. It was like Snapchat face swap level CGI. You're looking at it like, what is this? I saw it in theaters and I was so disheartened. Like,
horrendous.
Okay, yeah, okay. They have the one scene. Okay, it's Ash. Okay, cool. Get past it, and then he keeps coming back. I'm like, get rid of the guy. It could be any mother talking, for all we care, or David could be talking, or what's her brother's name again in this? Andy. Andy could be talking from like another disembodied computer, mainframe or something that he's talking to, instead of this fucking throwback to Ian Holm. Late, rest in peace. Let his body cool down in the freaking ground, would you please? It just does. That part really irritated me. In theaters, I originally gave this one like 4.5 stars because I was on a really big high, because it was just, I love the graphics and I love the creature at the end. I think he's disgusting and menacing, and he's just so big and like hulking and like almost unhuman. And it's unfortunate because I'm talking about a real human who's basically just wearing like some ribs and a tail on him and stuff like that. He's just but see that guy coming out of the darkness when you're in bed, I'd shit myself. I agree, Kaylee Spaney, and the actor, what is his name? David Johnson. Plays Andy.
David Johnson, yeah.
It's the best. I mean, you can't say anything besides they're the best. They're so good. They're great together. Right. He is empathetic and you care about him. And when he turns, you're like, oh no, we miss old nice Andy. I hope he comes back. I hope they do whatever. And then when they're mean to Andy, you're like, man, that guy. I hope that guy gets eaten by acid. He does. I like that. I like the pregnation scene where she's giving birth and just killing herself, just dying in the pod. And I thought that was pretty effective. That's the girl that plays Dina in The Last of Us, right?
Yes.
Isabel Merced, yeah.
I like her too.
She's
really
also
good.
The Explorer.
Yes, she was.
Yeah.
And Hawk Girl.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. You're right. I could have taken her leaving, Eileen Wu, Spike Fern. They're like the other 2 young kids, and Archie Renault. He's fine. I mean, they were fine. But ultimately, I really enjoyed how it felt like the universe felt like the original 2. The retro future styling of the set looked good. The fact that they're on this like mining planet, and I believed the plot. If you could believe the fact that they had a ship to get up into the orbit, and that somehow Weyland-Yutani was not in a place where they could go get that piece of machinery themselves, the rest of it was plausible. We're going to get these things. We're going to get the energy cells. We're going to get these pods. And we're going to fly out of this slave planet. And we're going to live our lives together. And we're going to build our own world or whatever. It's like, I like that. The get away from here, you bitch. The drinking bird. None of that really bothered me. I was like, okay, it's a blockbuster movie. They spent $100 million, $50 million on this or whatever. they're gonna throw some member berries in there for people to go, hey, remember that, kids? That's like that movie back in 1979. You remember that? The parents have to be able to flex a little bit on their youth that are watching this movie with them. But ultimately, really, really great popcorn movie. Great graphics, great set design, great acting. I really, really enjoyed this one.
Ed,
I mean, it's okay. It really let me down. I don't know, man. There's not really much to say about this movie as a whole. I love the idea. I love the beginning. How it kind of ties into the first film, and didn't necessarily need the whole concept of the xenomorph crawling into a ball and becoming like this asteroid that Will Utani happens to just swoop right in and pick up, and then it just breaks havoc. What irritated me the most is all that happens off screen. We see nothing from this xenomorph from the first film terrorizing a whole new crew, and we just see the aftermath of it. So it wasn't too keen on that. And then the whole ending, how they had to bring Prometheus and that black ship back into this movie somehow. They had to find a way to sneak that into it. And once that happened, I was just like, this, and just tuned out. And then the whole extra large swoopy, we all thought it was CG, but it's actually some just ridiculously tall person in a suit creature at the end. Like, just the whole idea of it, like, come on, guys. Where's the xenomorph?
There's a lot of xenomorphs.
There is. Yeah. This is a xenomorph heavy movie.
I'm talking about the end though. If we're gonna go big, like, I don't know, give me like something. I don't.
Xenomorph start to finish.
Give me more xenomorphs.
No,
and I love the zero gravity scene. That's like the highlight of the film for me. Is the zero gravity sequence.
I thought that was a really interesting. I thought it was. You kind of could see it coming a little bit, and when they say it's going to happen, you're like, "Oh, baby, they're going to do it." And I think it was a little CGI porn heavy, at times, a little cheesy in that regard. But it's like, I mean, I still thought it was a highly entertaining, and the elevator sequence I think was just as stressful. Very good.
No, and how can I forget Ian Holm? Like. Come on now.
That was a travesty. That was a goddamn. It was. I mean, it makes no goddamn. First of all, I mean, the idea that they have to keep bringing back, like, we saw one android that looked like that. Therefore, we have a million of those androids look exactly like that. So we have to keep bringing back. Bishop's got to come back like 3 times. We got to bring back Ian Holm a couple times. We got to bring back Michael Fassbender. Like, that's just what they do. But this one, the deep fake technology is just, it is horrendous. It is an abomination. And you're right.
It ain't working.
He keeps hanging out. He keeps coming around. The other thing that I was thinking about is the fact that they're like, oh, we've got the cryo tubes or whatever. Oh shit, they're running low on energy. It's like, we got to get them refilled. But I mean, Ripley is in one for 56 years. Right? It's like, how did she swing that? It was a miracle.
They filled it up before.
They did. They absolutely filled it up. I was really into this, but you're absolutely right. When they reintroduced the black goo, I'm like, oh no. And then when I've got another mutant hybrid flopping around, I was like, oh, sweet Jesus, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
But
it looked better than the one in Resurrection.
It did. It was less offensive than the one in Resurrection. But I did love the relationships between Kaylee and Andy. No question. I thought that was money. That was chef's kiss. Yeah. This movie in the theaters, I remember I was like kind of on the fence. Am I going to go to the movies and see this? There was a lot of buzz. And I actually went to see this on my birthday that year. And I was overall, I gave it a big thumbs up. In spite of my little complaints, I was like, I'm in for the first time in a long time. So there you have it.
This came out on my 40th birthday last year, and I saw it.
And
I saw it, and that's the end of it.
That's it.
No comment.
Saw it in the theater on my birthday.
One thing I
that's all.
forgot to mention. Yeah, one thing I forgot to mention is I like the ticking clock component that they added to it too, where the, in the earlier movies, it's like, oh, the ship's going to self-destruct in so many minutes or whatever, which is perfect. But they're like, we're going to crash into the rings of this planet. And I thought that was a great bit of sci-fi that's mixed with like real life technology or real life, like, nature or whatever. If you were to crash a ship through the rings of Saturn, would it look like that? Maybe. I don't know. Probably, I guess.
I thought it was
and
gas.
I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, whatever it is, it's ice shards or
Right.
ice shards or whatever. You're like, would it happen? Who the fuck knows?
Not
But
the
to me, it
blow-up
looked
ship.
like, oh yeah,
It looked great. It looked great.
It looked
it
great.
looked great, and it's like disintegrating the ship as it goes into the rings, and I like that. I thought it was really fun.
Absolutely.
Kids
Any
are
other
gonna
thoughts
love
about any other thoughts about Alien Romulus?
It's a movie.
Okay.
More hybrids. I want more hybrids.
It was a movie.
Next one better have 2 hybrids.
Now, I want a movie that's just hybrids, and the gloppier the
alien.
better.
Oh, alien
It's kind of my
hybrid.
attitude. As long as it's wall-to-wall black goo, I'm in.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
Watch Alien Earth if you want a movie about clones.
yes, and I have
There you
watched
go.
a few episodes, and I'm kind of into it now. Carly, you said you finished it and were not impressed with it overall. Without
No,
spoiling
like I
anything.
said, like I said before we went live, I was frustrated and disappointed with the series. I thought there were some good things. The performances are one of the things that I like the most. I like some of the ideas that they're bringing up, but the thing that I find most frustrating is how the xenomorphs or the alien doesn't seem to be like the centerpiece of it. It's just like these clones and all these creatures that they're bringing to Earth, and the xenomorphs are just one of them, and they're not even the main ones. I don't know if maybe you've seen a lot of the people on social media about one that's an eye that
Mhm.
gets stuck inside a goat, which is probably the most famous, and that's like the big the one that people, I love the big eye, and the xenomorphs are like a side plate, and I found that disappointing. A lot of the execution and writing and exposition that they did, I find frustrating. It's not bad. It's not awful, but be wary if you approach it, and approach with caution, I would say.
Okay. Now, just talking about this reminded me one thing about Romulus is they introduced the whole cocoon thing for the alien, right? That's all
Yeah,
brand
that was
spanking
cool.
new. And I
That was
guess
like species.
right. I think we're supposed to think that when it molts or whatever, it goes into a crazy cocoon. And I think we're all supposed to think that the alien from the first movie was in a cocoon and became like a meteorite or an asteroid or some shit. And that's how,
Huh.
I don't know. And that's how they get it and are experimenting in it in Romulus. Is that, you think I'm way off here?
I didn't think about the asteroid more than it was just a frozen hunk of shit flying through the space and they picked it up. I didn't really think of anything more than that, but I did kind of make the connection in my head, because so it's first the egg has a face hugger in it. Face hugger goes into you, lays another egg in you, and that has the chest burster. Chest burster comes out, and then yada yada yada. We have a xenomorph. I assume that middle stage between the chest burster and the xenomorph has a cocoon of some sort. So we see it in this, and it looked very, very reminiscent to Natasha Henstrich's Alien and Species.
Species.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's a seminal classic for a young, horny teenager in the 90s.
100%.
Yep.
100%. Okay, well, why don't we go around and do our ratings? Shall we start with, let's do top 5, and we can each do our 5, and then everyone do their 4, and so on and so forth. Let's go. Stu, what is your number 5 favorite Alien movie?
This was tough because I think there's 2 great movies. One watchable, good movie, one movie that's bad but fun, and then everything else was tied for last. So if I have to throw one of them in at 5th place, it's gonna be Alien 3, I guess. It seems the least offensive out of the ones that I can find almost no redeeming qualities in.
Okay, good. Ed, what's your number 5?
Alien 3 as well. It's just a movie that I've always, and I'm talking about the assembly cut here. I mean, it's not really that big of a change whether I'm watching theatrical or assembly, but it's a movie like I said, like the whole cry out, that all the war cries for Hicks and Newt, getting their justice and everything. It's like, well, Newt still carried on, she's affected Ripley throughout the events of part 3. I love the whole concept of everyone with their shaved heads, the aesthetic of that movie. It's so dark and grimy, and I don't know. It's just for all reasons that I talked about earlier about this movie. It's just I've always been a defender of it, and I will continue to be. So yeah, it's not the best. It's nowhere near the worst. So 5.
Okay. Pete.
Number 5 for me goes to Prometheus. I love it. I think it's great, and I wish there was more black goo in the future movies.
So you're like saying you love number 5. So good for you. I don't have that much love.
It's a 4-star movie. Alien 3 just missed my top 5, which is also a 4-star movie, but I had to put them in order, and the graphics on the alien devil dogs are just terrible. But Prometheus has a lot more to it and a lot more substance and mystery behind it all, and I appreciate that about the series. Okay.
Carlo, number 5.
Alien Covenant. We're all around the map here. I liked it. It's dumb, but it's a lot of fun. It doesn't try to pretend it's not dumb. It just goes for it, and it's mostly fun, straightforward. So yeah.
And my number 5 is Alien Covenant as well.
There you go.
Hey. The thing about it is, with these Ridley Scott movies, they are very well done, and they're nice to look at. If nothing else, it's like the presentation is top drawer. So yeah, it's number 5. I wouldn't say I love it. I would say it's decent. That's what you get for number 5. Good stuff. Stu, number 4.
Number 4 for me, I'm probably the only one that has this in the top 5, but maybe not. We'll see where you guys go. Alien versus Predator. It takes too long to give us an Alien versus a Predator, but when it does, it gives us an Alien versus a Predator, and I don't know what you want me to do in the face of that. It's an alien fighting a Predator. It's pretty awesome when you get to the 3rd act of this movie, despite how bad the everything else is. So Alien versus Predator is my number 4.
And there's no black goo or weird.
There's no black goo whatsoever. None to be seen.
That we know of. Fair. Ed, what's your number 4?
Ship enough.
Alien Covenant. So like I said before, it's all-out brutal slasher film-esque affair. This is what Prometheus should have been. I just got a big cast, and everyone just gets picked off individually and just brutal, gnarly ways. A lot of blood, a lot of ideas. Flutes aside, I don't know, dark ending. But what can you say? So, have a lot of fun whenever I watch Covenant. It's a fun film.
Okay. Pete, number 4.
Number 4 for me is Alien Romulus. Yes, I'm a big fan. Very polished, very fun, very popcorny. And I love the hybrid creature. You guys know by now I love the hybrid creatures. They're great. And this one was in the theaters. I'm like, oh my God, what is that thing? And then I felt very bad that it was just a child. a 17-year-old 7'7" kid from Romania that was just trying to make a buck, and I'm disparaging him in the darkness of the theater. But it was, I love Romulus. I rewatch it often.
So now I need to Google what this dude actually looks like to find out what the story is.
I'll send it to the chat.
Oh, please do. Carlo, number 4.
I'm with Pete on this one. Alien Romulus is my number 4. It's fun. I think it has some of the best characters pairing in the franchise. It's solid. I find the callbacks and homages sort of a bit distracting, but they work. The film mostly work. So I like it quite a bit. Yeah.
My number 4 is Prometheus.
Yeah.
I have a lot of issues with this, but there is so much that's. If you ignore the plot, there's so much that's good about this movie. Like I said, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. I mean, the mood is dynamite. The actors, I mean, it's literally an all-star cast. I mean, we didn't even mention Charlize Theron is in this, Idris Elba. I mean, Benedict Wong is in this and plays a small role in this. It's like, it's great. The dude, Sean Harris, who's the villain in the Mission Impossible movies, he's in this, turned into a crazy goo zombie. Again, like many Darren Lindelof movies, as long as you just kind of let it wash over you and don't try to figure shit out, you'll have a decent experience. So Prometheus is number 4 for me. Stu, number 3.
My number 3 makes me feel very curious about Carlo and Pete's list because I think Alien Romulus is easily the 3rd best movie in the Alien franchise. I think you've got the big 2, and then you've got this one that is good but not great, and then I think everything else is trash. So I'm curious. They both have something from my trash pile in the number 3 spot. I'm curious what they have, but for me, number 3 is easily Alien Romulus.
Preach. Go ahead, Ed.
Number 3 for me is Resurrection.
Woo!
I said, maybe I got some hot takes after all. No, space truckers versus aliens, xenomorphs, more or less. Yeah. Cum covered aliens aside, I just have a blast with that movie. Yeah. I think we've already talked about it enough.
Fair. Pete, what's your number 3?
For maybe the first time, how many of these podcasts have we done? The Mega Podcasts.
We did Friday the 13th.
5 or 6.
Fifth one.
Yeah.
This is number 5.
Okay, it's number 5.
Number 5. Okay.
For the 5, I think that this may be one of the few times me and Ed share a hot take because Resurrection is the 3rd best of the franchise.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
It is so fun. And
It's
if you go into it wanting to find anything different than a very fun movie directed by the guy that made Amelie, then you're going to be sorely mistaken. But that's what we got. It's ridiculous. I love it. It's so fun.
And I do love Amelie. I think Amelie is great, but
almost the same movie.
Almost. That's a double feature right there. 100%. Carlo, what's your number 3?
Well, right from your trash pile, my number 3 is Alien 3. I've always enjoyed this one, especially the assembly cut. I mean, if it would be a theatrical cut, it wouldn't be the number 3. But the assembly cut for me is number 3. This time when I rewatched it, I was actually more. Every time I've seen this film, it improves for me. And this last time, it really, really hit me better than the last time. I think it's quite a strong film. It's well made. Performances are good. I liked a lot of the characters, at least the ones that we get to know. And I think it was a good closure for Ripley. So yeah, Alien 3.
I mean, I don't hate Alien 3. I think it's hard when the first 2 were such bangers to kind of shift into Alien 3. It's just so different. It's just such a different vibe. It's kind of, especially going for the full throttle of Aliens, where it's now kind of, well, we're kind of back to a slow burn a little bit. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. My number 3, Alien Romulus. Stu, I'm right there with you. This is the one that's kind of put it back on the tracks. Black goo, hybrid alien aside, horrible deep fake aside. This I saw it, and this is probably the first Alien movie in a long time where I didn't leave the theater disappointed in something. You know what I mean? I think it's. And Fede Alvarez talked about how he's ready to go with the sequel, but now recently he said he's no longer attached to it. Like the script is written, but he's not directing it. So I don't know what that means. So good grief. It's probably, there's going to be more black goo is all I can guess. Stu, now here's where this is where the rubber hits the road. Who's your number 2?
I will see if I'm the only one that does this. We'll see. But my number 2 is Alien. It's great. It's just not great enough to surpass what I think is the most amazing action horror movie ever made. But my number 2 is Alien.
Requiem, obviously.
Ed, what's your number 2?
Same. My number 2 is Alien. This was hard. This was really a real tough top 2 to choose from. There's just you can either. It's kind of more or less you feel more of like an action film or a straight up horror film, and I don't know. I just love Aliens a little bit more. So yeah, number 2 is Alien, but don't get it twisted. They're both masterpieces in their own right.
100%. Pete.
That's 3 for 3. Alien is number 2 for me. The original is second place, and it gets huge bonus points for like birthing all of this, like having an original idea. Yeah. Really, like the entire the entire pie baked into one movie is like this great set design, great world building, phenomenal creature design. H.R. Geiger is like what an amazing person to like birth this idea of this like weird biometric, universe that the alien lives in or whatever. There's a couple things in it that are pretty cheesy. Number 1, at the end when I didn't get to talk about this at the beginning.
Go for it, brother.
But there's one shot, which is iconic shot, but it is so goofy to me when it's the co-pilot character. She's found out in Aliens to be trans, and Yaphet Kotto's character at the end when both of them get killed. The alien kills one of them and then turns back, and it's slowly like creeping towards her on like a skateboard, like a dolly or something. It's a really quick shot of it. It's moving towards her almost like a ghost floating at her, and I'm like, what the heck was that? And then there's the one shot where Tom Skerritt gets jump scared in the vent. That it was just so goofy, and like that's a guy in a suit, and that was a goofy. The rest of the movie is just really just banner. It's still a 5-star movie. Like we're arguing between one of the greatest like horror movies ever made that happens to have an alien in it, and one of the greatest action movies that ever made that happen to have a ton of aliens in it. So right. I think they both have their merits, but for me, on this go around, ask me 6 months from now, I might switch my story, but Alien is number 2.
Carlo.
Well, my number 2 is Requiem. No, I'm kidding. No, for a long time, my favorite from the 2 was Aliens for a long time. But it's been a couple of years now, and I've rewatched all these 2 films a lot of times, and I think I prefer. Well, we're all spoiling our first 2 now, but I think that I prefer more the slow burn of the first one as my favorite. So my number 2 is Aliens, which is a great, pretty much a masterpiece of action and horror and sci-fi, which we already talked about. So yeah, my number 2 is Aliens.
It's funny. Since I've been doing this podcast, people have asked me repeatedly, like, which do you prefer? And I'd always kind of bag off because it is very much like Sophie's Choice. We were like, how do I choose between these two that I love so much? But kind of putting myself and kind of forcing myself to choose. My number 2 is the original Alien.
Nice.
And people, there's going to be some backlash. There's going to be some backlash because, I mean, this movie is a seminal sci-fi horror classic. It truly is. I mean, and I said this earlier, it still holds up. I think you could sit down with some Gen Z kids and put them in front of it, and it still would hold up even for them. I know I've talked to kids about watching like Jaws, and they go, "Oh, the shark looks so fake. Oh, it sucks." And now, obviously, I have to kill them after they say such things. But if you watch Alien, the alien effects, dynamite, unimpeachable practical effects. You know, the slimy dude hanging around. And I mean, it establishes the Nostromo where they're, the spaceship. It's a lived-in environment, right? It's like there's evidently a leak in one of the rooms that no one seems that concerned about, because that's just how they do in this future, right? But it is terrifying. The things that you talked about, that scene with Tom Skerritt and the flashlight and the air vent, that's still dynamite to me, as far as I'm concerned. You figure eventually they'll figure out how to make a motion detector that can work on 3 dimensions, but evidently not then, right? So
not far enough in the future. Yeah.
Not far enough. That's not till Aliens, evidently. So we all know what our number 1s are, but I want to go around one more time to share our personal reflections of our number 1. So Stu, lead us off.
Yeah, it's Aliens. It's a 4-quadrant banger. It's one of the best movies ever made. It's phenomenal. So no notes. Aliens.
Ed.
It's Aliens for pretty much every reason that Stu just said and everything that I talked about earlier. I mean, you don't have to go into this. I think all of us are pretty much gonna have the same common answer. So Aliens. By a long shot, no.
By a long shot, okay. Pete.
No.
Wow.
Yeah. By the skin of the second little mouth, it's Alien. And I think that in context from watching the first one to the second one, it makes it that much more enjoyable, because if you watch it on its own, it's like, this is a great like shoot 'em up sort of crazy action movie, but you're getting something different, and it's just what James Cameron does with sequels. He took Terminator and flipped it on for Terminator 2. Alien wasn't his movie to begin with, but he made something completely different. And it's like all the stuff you wanted from the first one. It's like, I want more action. I want more aliens. I want more whatever. And it's like, now we know the first one they introduced the xenomorph, and the second one they introduced the Queen. That is the best practical creature I think that's ever been made on film. I venture to say it's disgusting. It mirrors the real life of like a termite queen with the egg sac and the big butt, just undulating eggs out the back. And it's so fucking gnarly, and it's so well done. And it ramps everything up from the first one. And I could watch it. I could watch it 10 times a year and I would never get tired of it.
Absolutely. Carlo, as the voice of dissent.
Alien is my favorite of the two, but it's like Pete said, by the skin of the second mouth teeth. You could ask me a couple of months now, maybe I will flip, but they're close. They're both 5-star movies for me. I've just become more used to this slow burn terror and dread of the original. And I kind of lean more towards that now. So Alien, but again, they're really, really close. The gap between my number 1, number 2 to my third one, which is Alien 3, is probably about a whole grade.
Oh, absolutely. What it came down to right now is which movie, as I'm sitting here, is more fun And I guess what it came down to is I think Aliens is just more fun. It's one that I just want to pop in and we're having a good time. You know what I mean? But other than that, it's like it is, right? It's 1A, 1B. They're right next to each other, and it's hard for me to even say it, right? So,
Yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah, totally.
Now, let's talk about the one that we would send into the lava, right? That we'd that we'd shoot off into outer space, out of the airlock. How about that one?
Bottom of the barrel.
Let's start with you.
So massive apologies, I guess, to Ed and Pete, but my number 9 with a bullet is Resurrection. I thought it was abjectly terrible. It's for a franchise that I don't think is a good franchise, and I didn't enjoy many of these movies. Resurrection's the only one that I was like, please end.
Hey,
I did not enjoy Resurrection at all. There was nothing redeemable about Resurrection to me. It was the only one that I was just sitting there waiting for it to end. I think I was angry sighing during it.
you must have watched the version that didn't have Brad Dourif in it then, I guess.
Right.
Ed, what is your least favorite?
Oh, Prometheus, no doubt. Just so underwhelming. Just so it wasn't anything I was hoping it was going to be, and just for me to be so amped up back in the summer of 2012 for that movie, and then for it to come out and be what it was just. It was Ridley Scott saying, "Remember me? Remember me? Look what I can do. Look what I'm going to do with this." And all my questions of life and immortality and black goo and, squids. We're not going to give you xenomorphs and face huggers. We're going to give you squids. It's like, off. Next. And then he kind of made up for it with the next film, Covenant. So it's all good. I forgive you, Ridley.
Pete, what's your least favorite?
Alien vs Predator Requiem by a long shot. It's like a 1.5 star movie, if that, and I almost never give anything below a 2 star. It's just not even competently made in general. So if you were to discredit the Predator movies, because I don't really feel like they should be in the rankings, Covenant's my last, but it's still a movie that I like.
Okay, Carlo, what do you got?
I have my as far as letterbox rankings, I have my bottom 2 with the same rating. I have Alien Resurrection and Requiem, but I'm gonna give the bottom edge to Requiem because it, like Pete said, it's just not a well-made film at all. Resurrection is a competently made film that just doesn't jive with what I would expect from an Alien film, but Requiem is just plain bad. It's dumb fun, and at least when I watched it, I guess I was in that mood because I had heard so many bad things about it. So I was expecting a bad film, but it's bad. It's a bad film by all accounts. So yeah, Requiem.
Yeah, when this series gets bad, it gets really bad. It it drops like a stone. My my least favorite is Alien Resurrection. It like I said, it's
haters.
Some of my bitch.
I like a camp. I like a campy camp every now and again. I like wackiness, but like I love Brad Dourif normally, but I gotta say, it's like all the clone shit was upsetting, and nothing is more upsetting than seeing what was it the big bellied pregnant alien giving birth to the mutant hybrid with the crazy nose and oh god, and then I can't even go on. Yeah, that's like literally, and audiences agreed because it kind of killed all alien movies for a few years there. So all I'm just saying, not a winner for me. So such is life. Any last thoughts about this franchise that you guys would like to share? Let's start with Ed.
Just overall,
Sure.
I mean,
I'm putting you on the spot. Everyone else
kind
gets
of are.
time to think about it.
Didn't really. I don't know. It's a franchise full of ups and downs. I mean, we all love to know the xenomorph in all of its glory, and it's I don't know, aliens, man, space. I've been kind of frustrated here. I don't know, man. It's getting late.
No, I understand. I get
That's
you.
okay.
Pete.
A lot of fun.
Pete.
Yeah.
A lot of gore.
Go for it.
I think that this series has something for everybody in it. If you want something that is legitimately slowly paced and has a great payoff like Jaws does, watch the original. If you want something action and crazy and campy, not campy, but action and crazy and over the top, watch Aliens. If you want something that is ridiculous and goofy and makes you cringe, watch Resurrection. And then you got some more polished stuff that we're getting now. And I'm just glad that I've lived long enough and followed movies long enough to watch the series kind of go full circle to a point where Romulus felt like a really competently made movie that, albeit had a little too much fan service, but was just something that you're like, yeah, that's a fucking movie. I love that. Super entertaining and just a lot of fun.
Agreed. Carlo.
I don't know what to it's weird to think where they're gonna go now. That's what I'm thinking right now in my mind. Where they're gonna go now with the films, because for a minute there you thought they were going with the Ridley Scott line of Prometheus and Covenant, but that didn't work out. So now they're maybe going back with Romulus with that line. But now you said that Fede Alvarez isn't coming back to direct. I thought, because last thing I had read is that he was directing, but I just was looking at it now. Yeah, he confirmed in September that he was writing the script and that the script was completed, but he would not be returning to direct the sequel. He confirmed that in September. So that's a bummer because I like him directing. I think he's a good horror director, horror sci-fi director. But at least he's involved and he's writing, so we'll see what we get. But if they're going on that route, I'm on board. I like what they brought to the table in Romulus. I didn't like that much what they brought to the table in Alien Earth, like I said. But that's when I'm torn. The whole franchise, I think that I love these 2 or 3 first films, but I'm just cautiously wary to where they're going now. So I'll see what they bring in and approach with caution.
Approach with caution. Stu.
So we've done several horror franchises on the Megapods for a while now, and I've thought, Friday the 13th, Halloween, Child's Play, Nightmare on Elm Street, these are all franchises that for me have ups and downs, their peaks and valleys, their highs and lows. The Alien franchise to me feels like the world's most boring roller coaster. It's got one hill. It goes straight up, and then it just goes straight down for a long time after that. And I feel like I'm waiting for this franchise to go up again, and I guess it kind of did with Romulus, but even Romulus I didn't love. I just thought Romulus was good. And everything that came before it since Aliens was so bad that it just feels like, give me something of that quality again. That's what I want. I want Alien or Aliens level quality again, and I don't know that I'm ever going to get that. Whereas with the other franchises, I feel like they have sporadically given me the heights of the earlier movies again. So I don't want to be the negative Nancy, but I didn't love this franchise. Although it does have 2 movies that are amazing. 2 movies that I will watch anytime and be completely happy with. It just feels like the rest of the franchise is just so directionless. It's just not for me.
Okay. No, I don't disagree. I think, like you said, it comes out of the gate strong, and then it kind of just keeps going down and down and down. But I feel like Romulus, it it was good enough for me that it now makes me want to, when I see the next Alien movies come to theaters, I want to go see it. You know what I mean? I have kind of a hopeful spark inside of me, because you're right. I mean, there was a lot of nonsense there for a while, like in the middle of this journey. You know, like we said, even the ones that were well made, it was kind of like, where are we going with this? What does this mean? Is this just is this just black goo? Is that all I'm dealing with here? Sweet Jesus. So, but that is interesting. It's like, comparing it to like Friday the 13th, which is a series I love. It was like, even when it was kind of lousy, it was still kind of fun.
Yes.
And I feel, you know what I mean? And I feel like the Alien movies, when they're not that good, I don't find them very fun. So
yeah, like I will watch bad Friday the 13th movies all the time. I will watch bad Halloween movies all the time. If I never in my life see Prometheus again, I'll be fine.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, well, let's put this baby to bed. I'm going to go around the horn here, have everybody share their podcasts and what they're up to and what's going on. Let's start with you, Pete. What's up?
So the podcast is called Middle Class Film Class. You can get it on audio format through all your pod streaming services, or you can get it on YouTube. It's probably the best way to watch because we do it live Saturdays, 12:30 Pacific time, generally. Sometimes we'll do it on Sundays. This week we're doing a Sunday. And we took the entire month of October off, and it was really nice to have a break. We don't take very many breaks. But the show is like kind of like a morning talk show format. It's three of us, me, Joseph, and Tyler. And we do movie news, we play trivia and games and things like that. And then at the end of the first episode, we do streaming picks. What we're watching this week that's worth it or not worth it for you to waste your time on or don't waste your time on. And then the second episode of the week is on Wednesdays. It's streaming live on Saturday, but released Wednesdays. And that is a deep dive review into one movie that fits into the genre. So this month in November is Pre-Code November. So we're learning about pre-code, and the show's Middle Class Film Class. We don't pretend to be teachers. We're in the class with you. We're learning about pre-code because I don't know shit about it. So we're going to watch a bunch of pre-code movies. We're going to learn about it. We're talk to some friends that might know some more about it than we do. And each month you should learn something new about a genre or a subgenre that maybe you didn't know about.
Perfect. Carlo.
Well, I'm Carlo. I'm the host of the Dormant podcast, The Movie Loot, where if you're following the podcast, you've noticed that we're in cryostasis. But we've been on a hiatus for this year, but I'm hoping to come back. Maybe I can gather my strength for January. A lot of personal stuff going on, a lot of stuff on my life that have took me off the tracks. But I'm looking forward to come back. I definitely want to come back in some way, shape, or form. So hopefully January looks like a good goal to start the new year full force. Wake up from the sleep.
Can't wait, man. Can't wait. Stu.
So the podcast is the Stu World Order, where we review random comic book movies with our guests. All of you have been on the show at least once before. It's quite fun for me to do. And in addition to the podcast, we have the website swoproductions.com, where I have new articles every single weekday. So we've got some fiction on there. We've got a lot of movie reviews, some TV show watch throughs, just a whole bunch of stuff over at swoproductions.com.
Ed.
The Film Effect Podcast, where each week we take a different movie and give it a thorough, pretty in-depth scene-by-scene breakdown, as well as a couple of other fun-filled categories in between. Just coming back off a hiatus as well. Just we've been off the air since January. Had a lot of personal stuff going on myself, but just came back right in time for Halloween, and we're slowly but surely getting back on our 2 feet. And yeah, it's been fun. I miss doing this, so it's good to be getting back into the groove on a week by week basis. And yeah, overall things are getting much better. So I feel like now is a good time to come back, and that's what we're doing. All podcast platforms, Film Effect Podcast.
And guys, this was a blast. This was a
I love
blast.
doing these. So fun.
Such a good time. 100%. 100%. We just have to decide
I agree.
what the next Megapod will be. Good grief. I am Kevin from the podcast That Wouldn't Die. You can find me all across social media. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Threads, we're on Blue Sky. You can watch us on YouTube. You can email us, the podcast That Wouldn't Die, at Gmail. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere the finer podcasts are available. So don't forget to like, share, rate, review, won't you? Next week, we'll be doing the movie Bring Her Back, which I'm unfamiliar with. This is one of Aaron's choices. You can watch that on HBO Max if you have a subscription. Otherwise, you're going to have to rent it for $5.99, all sorts of places. So send in your favorite scenes, favorite quotes, comments, and questions, and we may talk about it on the show. So thank you very much, and be well.
Right on.
Toodles.
Bye.